Wolfe, Glick, but combat is enough to secure the knockout deal. Yeomans, it's one-hit knockouts all round, trainers.
Welcome to the Pokémon European International Championships 2025!
My name's Charlie Merriman. I'm a host and commentator for Pokémon. If you told 10-year-old Charlie that one day that would be my job, I'd have been the most excited kid in the world. I'm also an actor, writer, and comedian. Basically, everything I learned at drama school is also crucial for broadcasting, be it for Pokémon or otherwise. I was selected to commentate the Europe International Championships in February 2025, London, UK, the biggest competitive Pokémon event ever at the time. Around 13,000 total attendees from all over the world and nearly 1,500 competitors in the video game division, my area of expertise. Plus the event will be broadcast live to Pokémon's 6.5 million YouTube subscribers. A massive responsibility. Could I do it justice? Now, if you don't know competitive Pokémon or you don't think it's for you, I promise you'll come away from this video with an appreciation of, and perhaps even an enjoyment in, how it works. Plus you'll discover how I go about commentating it, utilising my drama school training as I live out my childhood dream of doing this. And of course, you'll watch unfold the incredible tale of this tournament as it happened. Let's go. Aren't you a little old to be playing Pokémon? I know you're thinking it, and hey, fair enough. There are two reasons, though, why I still play Pokémon. The first is that nostalgia is a powerful thing. Perhaps like many of you watching, I grew up playing Pokémon. It's hard to overstate quite the impact of global Pokémania in the late 90s, and that's its own topic. For now, suffice it to say that I was very much caught up in it, and I've kept coming back to Pokémon over the years. From when we had the original 151 to now, when there are more than 1,000. And the second reason I still play is how intellectually stimulating the battles are. Now I know that might sound strange for a children's game, but it'll make much more sense in a moment. Battling with your Pokémon is how you progress through the Pokémon games. Ever tougher Pokémon trainers await you as you forge your path to become the Pokémon champion. And the same is true for real-life tournaments these days. It is now possible for you, not the in-game character you play as, you, to realise your childhood dream of becoming the Pokémon champion. And even though you can't put a price on that, there is also a lot of money on the line. At these Europe International Championships, for example, the winner will take home $15,000. So if you thought we left Pokémon behind in the 90s, think again. Not only is it one of the biggest media franchises of all time, and growing, but also Pokémon has been brought into the real world in a way it never had been back then. But it's a children's game, you cry. How hard can these battles be? Well, if you're familiar with how battles work in the original Pokémon games, the core mechanics are the same, there's just a lot more to it now. Basically, you and your opponent both have two Pokémon out on the battlefield, and you both have two in the back. The objective? Use your Pokémon's moves to knock out all four of your opponent's Pokémon. In other words, empty their health bar. The first to do that wins. And the way the game works is like rock, paper, scissors meets chess meets poker. Pokémon have types that match up differently into each other. For example, water will do especially big damage to fire, fire will do especially big damage to grass, and grass will do especially big damage to water, like rock, paper, scissors. What this means is that to have an advantage in battle, you have to get your Pokémon into a position where they can threaten the opposition without being threatened themselves, like chess. But imagine if in chess, rather than taking turns, both you and your opponent moved your pieces at the same time. That's how turns work in Pokémon. It brings a whole new level to predicting your opponent's next move. You both choose your Pokémon's moves, watch the turn play out. Both choose your Pokémon's moves, watch the turn play out. That's the structure. What about the poker bit? Well, there are various elements of chance in Pokémon battles, for example, moves sometimes dealing more damage than they usually would. I don't think there's any game that works quite like competitive Pokémon. If you're confused, that's understandable, it's far more complicated than people assume. Come on, come with me. I'm off some commentating practice for the upcoming tournament with my mate Ben Kiriakou.
Well, good afternoon everybody. It is Valentine's Day 2025 and I am on my way to see Ben Kiriakou for a little bit of practice for the Europe International Championships 2025. Going to be spending Valentine's Day with him and his partner as opposed to my own girlfriend. So if that doesn't show commitment to the cause, I don't know what does.
The Power Whip is going to miss onto the Dondozo. That would have been super effective, probably taking out that Pokemon. Flame Charge here though, connecting down instead. Just a bit of chip, but crucially boosting the Koraidon speed.
But that Flame Charge and the Power Whip could have been enough to knock out that Dondozo if it was able to connect. Now the Dondozo gets to attack with impunity after, of course, this Ruination takes the Koraidon's health down to half. You really want to be making sure that this Flare Blitz is going to be doing enough, because if this Ting Lu hangs on this turn, it could be devastating.
It's not going to be enough. The Ting Lu is down to about a quarter of its HP. Koraidon takes Rocket Helmet Chip as well as recoil damage. Is it off the field? No, it's not. It's just about hangs
Ivy
on.
Cudgel, is it enough?
Ivy Cudgel. No, it's not. The Ivy Cudgel not enough either to pick up the knockout onto the Ting Lu. I am in no way expecting you to understand everything that was happening there. That's just a taster where Ben and I were dubbing our commentary over a previous tournament to practice. I'll be breaking down plenty of games from the Europe International Championships itself soon. Whew, well, we just did a good amount of practice there, didn't we, Ben? Did some warm-ups, again, like I said, drama school warm-ups, get us in the zone, get our vocal energy up, physical energy up.
He knows his stuff.
Hey, Ben, flatter me. He knows his stuff as well. Valentine's Day, no less. As I said, we're really lucky that we can practice in person. It makes such a difference. Good prep, and now we're excited about our Chinese takeaway that we just went and ordered. And
no one's going to take it away from me.
Hey, very
I'm
good.
telling you
That was
right
good,
now.
Ben. Yeah. They've warned me that some of the portion sizes could be 4 meals, but you know what? I think we'll be okay. Casting definitely is works up.
It's hungry work.
Yeah, definitely. So happy Valentine's Day. Beautiful. Wow, that was a lot of food. There are 2 key roles in Pokemon commentary, and many other sports and esports. Play-by-play and colour. Play-by-play brings the action to life. My background as a performer makes me well suited to this. For as long as I can remember, I feel the most alive getting up on stage and making people smile. I trained as a professional actor at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, or LAMDA, and everything I learned there is also invaluable for casting. Staying in the moment despite distractions, listening effectively to your co-caster, honing your camera presence, getting the very most out of your voice to make games exciting to watch and listen to name just a very few things. I actually run sessions teaching fellow casters things I learned at drama school. Now, colour analyses the mechanics at play in each battle, i.e. colouring in these details. Ben's been playing specifically competitive Pokemon longer than I have, since 2011, and he's a 2-time national champion, so he's a natural colour caster. It's an honour to commentate or cast an international championships. You've got 4 levels of event in competitive Pokemon: locals, regionals, internationals, and then the World Championships. By this point, I'd casted around 10 regional level events, and I'd been selected to commentate the Europe International Championships, or EUIC for short, out of the 20 or so of us casters across the North America and Europe regions. It's so gratifying to know that the hard work I've been putting in is being recognised. And not just that, but the hard work that Ben and I have been putting in together. Our schedule often lines up so we can practice weekly online. And we're so fortunate to live pretty near each other so we can get that all-important in-person practice too, cueing each other with hand signals and bouncing off each other's energy in real time. All in service of doing justice to the Pokemon trainers who devote hours upon hours, week after week, month after month, year after year, to being the very best, like no one ever was. I'd hosted EUIC the previous year, 2024, leading segments on stage and elsewhere in the venue. A good fit given my performing background. But this year will be my first time commentating there, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to prove I can do that at the international level too. Will I be able to rise to the occasion?
EUIC, here we come. Smooth.
So Ben and I are paired to cast together this weekend, as are our friends and colleagues Luak Joshkromi and Lee Provost. And rounding out the roster is Sierra Dawn from the North America team, hosting like I did at last year's EUIC.
Well. If it isn't Spraggles.
Now, I have another very special role this weekend, possibly my biggest responsibility, and it's that I'm arguably the most excited about. I've been asked to co-host the opening ceremony with my good friend and fellow performer Jake Sprague, aka Spraggles. Whereas I commentate the Pokemon video game tournament, the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Unite tournaments are also all taking place at EUIC this weekend. All games that work differently, and we don't need to get into that now, but suffice it to say that Jake is one of the Pokemon Unite casters. EUIC is a 3-day event, and opening day 2 last year with Jake on stage is undoubtedly one of my highlights of the whole experience. We were just in our element up there, improvising around our scripts and having a proper laugh. And if you're having a good time, the likelihood is the audience will too. So I could not wait to do it all again in less than 24 hours time. And this time kick off the entire event alongside a fantastic band called the Longest Johns.
I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Put it that way.
Yeah, you might be disappointed by us.
Right, by Jay.
Band,
Yeah.
by me specifically,
Yeah.
The band's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'll phone it in. I think you're going to deliver. I believe.
At the technical rehearsals on Thursday 20th of February, the day before the event kicked off, Jake and I went through our opening. There were all sorts of other bits to rehearse. We checked the equipment was working and so on. And then to bed. Well, here we go. The culmination of months of hard work for some of the best Pokemon trainers in the world. The culmination of months of hard work for me and the other casters to do justice to those trainers. The biggest Pokemon tournament yet seen. The Pokemon Europe International Championships 2025. Let the games begin.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's silly o'clock. It's about 7. We were up I was up at 5:15. When were you up, Sarah?
5 a.m.
5, okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to be on pretty early this morning, as you can imagine. Opening the show. I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm tired. I'll be more excited
Yeah.
in about 30, 40 minutes. I forgot my energy drink.
Ooh. Okay, well, Sarah will be fine. Sarah will be fine. Tell Sarah she'll be fine. In the comments. Alright.
Oh dear, but the energy in the venue is incredible and we're all feasting off it. I'm straight into hair and makeup and then time for the drama school warm-up routine I've devised for Ben and me. And plenty of other casters join in too. It's essential for getting the most out of your voice and body over 3 long tournament days. Spine rolls, neck rolls and arm and leg swings get us connected with our bodies and energized. Getting the face active lets us be more expressive and lively on camera. Yes, I realise it looks strange, but it'll be more than worth it. Tongue rolls and tongue twisters limber it up so we can talk quickly but clearly in the heat of the game.
Pokemon professionally, I commentate competitive Pokemon professionally.
And sirening wakes up our entire vocal range. We need to be able to vary easily how we sound. Sounding monotonous will make viewers switch off. We also siren at different volumes to practice switching from quiet and suspenseful to loud and excited. And now, it's time for the opening ceremony with Jake. Waiting in the wings, I breathe in the moment. The longest johns are electrifying the atmosphere, the stage lights are sweeping around the venue, the crowd is ecstatic, and so am I. Jake and I are about to kick off the biggest tournament yet seen for one of the biggest media franchises of all time. A franchise I've been enamoured with since I was 6 years old, in front of 13,000 people in the venue and hundreds of thousands more watching at home. Special won't begin to cover it.
Good morning!
Hello!
Bonjour!
And other greetings.
Insert greeting here to Pokemon trainers around the globe. Wasn't that incredible from the Longest Johns? They'll be back with a very special song, especially for you, in just a moment. But for now, trainers, welcome to the Pokemon European International Championships 2025!
EUIC, let's go!
EUIC, 4 of the best letters of the alphabet. We are coming to you live from the iconic Excel Centre right here in London, UK. I'm Charlie Merriman.
And I am Jake Sprague, and let me tell you, Charlie and I are beyond thrilled to be kicking off, we got it, this first event here, this second international event of the season. You know, Charlie,
Yeah.
EUIC is known for its unmatched energy and legendary moments. And I feel like a little bumblebee here, buddy, because day one is already buzzing with excitement. What surprises does this weekend have in store for us? I cannot wait to find out.
Jake, I've emerged from the hive to tell you becoming an international champion is no easy feat, my friend.
He's not lying.
Oh no, and only a very few trainers manage to defend their crown, but that means it's all to play for. Anyone here could claim that oh-so-coveted trophy and leave as our EUIC 2025 champion. And just how many competing trainers do we have here this weekend? Wait for it. Over 5,000! How exciting is that?
Incredible. But you know, Charlie, you dashing hero, what really makes an event like this unforgettable is the unity that we have in our global Pokemon community. This event is all about you guys, the fans. So let's hear it for some of your favorite games this weekend. Pokemon Unite fans, give it up!
Not
Pretty
bad.
good.
Not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's not like I couldn't hear you, but I think we can do better. Brace yourself, trainers, because now I want to hear you give it up for our trainers from Pokemon Go. Yeah, there we go.
Woo.
There we go.
Good.
You took the note and you ran
Very
with it.
good.
Very good. Nice.
Now, I know this next group could blow the roof off
They
this
could.
place, all right? So
Take
be
caution.
careful, but I want to hear it for our trainers playing the Pokemon trading card game.
Okay. Whoa.
Wow.
That was close, Jake, but I think the roof is just about still intact.
Hanging on by a thread right now,
I think
Charlie.
there's some structural damage maybe, but we're okay for now. I'm not sure it's going to stay that way for long.
Okay.
Last but never least, please go absolutely wild for your trainers from the Pokemon video game. There it is. Oh,
There it goes.
It's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
They got it. Roof's gone.
That roof is gone.
Yep.
Congratulations, you tore it off. We're in an open-air venue now, trainers. Good luck.
Yeah, fun. I hope you brought your umbrellas. Good luck with that, everybody. And you know, Charlie, this isn't just about the hype this weekend.
Is it not?
Oh, no, my friend. They're competing for so much more. Of course for the glory, of course for the hype, but there is also a massive prize pool this weekend. Let me take, this can't be right. Production, is this right? It is. They are competing for over $500,000 in prizing between our titles. And of course, those all-important championship points. Do you see that off in the distance, Chuck?
What is that, Jake?
All the way down there. That, my friend, that shining light, that is Worlds 2025 in Anaheim, California. The ultimate stage this August. Some of these trainers will be there.
Jake, you colossus of the world. We're going to need some music to accompany that journey to World.
Good
It's
idea.
coming down the road fast, trainers. Tell you what, why don't we have one more song that celebrates your journey as a Pokemon trainer? Let it ignite your passion through the competition ahead. You ready, Jake?
Me. Ah.
It's not me and Jake.
They will not let us sing.
Yeah, we auditioned, but they were like, we'll get back to you. No, please welcome back to the stage, the Longest Johns!
I've never experienced anything quite like that. As you could probably tell, I had the time of my life up there. But I'm only conscious of that now I've stepped off stage, and that's a good thing. The most important thing I learned at drama school? Be in the moment. On stage, whether you're playing a character in a play or just being yourself, if you're not fully engaged, you can't expect your audience to be. You're there to create an atmosphere for the audience to get wrapped up in. If you're taken out of that, the atmosphere evaporates. It's easier said than done. There are all sorts of things competing for your attention. In this case, the director in your earpiece anticipating your next line, trying not to let any minor slip-ups bother you, knowing that you're being watched by so many people. Putting it all to one side is no easy feat, and it's something I'm constantly working on. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I felt present in that opening ceremony, which meant I could have fun. And hopefully that meant that the audience, both at the time and you just now, could have fun with us too. I'd love to know in the comments if you had a good time watching that opening ceremony. It'd be really useful to read. I was possibly shouting a bit too much at points, but hey, if there's ever a time where it's arguably okay to let the adrenaline get the better of you, is when you're kicking off an event, getting the hype going. But what am I doing? I don't have time to be reflecting on this now. I have to run straight to the casting desk during the Longest John's final song, that was written especially for EUIC, as I'm on the opening match with Ben.
The Longest Johns, everybody. I absolutely love them. What an incredible band. We're here. I'm Charlie Merriman. I'm joined on the desk by, well, knock.
Who's there?
Ben Kiriak.
Ben Kiriakou.
There we go.
Oh,
exactly.
you got, yeah,
It's
okay.
the European
I didn't even know where that was
International
going.
Championships.
Oh, look at us go.
Merri by name, merry by nature. The hours upon hours of practice Ben and I have put in over the past few months, they've all been leading up to this. Here we are, finally on the desk together, and it feels wonderful. We're ready. And what a match we're kicking off EUIC with. Marco Silva from Italy on the right of your screen is one of the best players in the world. He's won not one, not two, but 3 international championships total, more than anyone else. Could he do it again this weekend? Or would the underdog Robbie Schaaij cause an early upset? Before battling, trainers have a minute and a half to see details about their opponent's team. Not just their 6 Pokemon and the 4 moves each they have access to, but also the ability, held item, and so-called Terra type that each of them have. Further factors that have an impact on battle that we'll get into later. During this minute and a half, players choose 4 Pokemon from their team of 6 that they think will best counter their opponent's team, including the 2 that will lead on the battlefield.
Let's get into it, trainers. It's our very first game at the European International Championships.
In this competitive format, each trainer can have 1 restricted Pokemon, in other words, a super powerful one that's the stuff of legend in the main game story, on their team. For Marco, that's Terapagos. Marco wants to make their Terapagos even more threatening by using the move Calm Mind, boosting its offense as well as its defense. Unfortunately, Robbie underestimates the threat, not targeting down Terapagos, and Marco's Terapagos becomes virtually unstoppable.
Here's the Terrasol Storm, though. It's going to do enough to the Incineroar. How well is the Caluret's going to take it? Raining down from the skies!
Marco wins the battle, but all matches are best of 3. Can Robbie stop Marco's Terapagos? Marco tries the same strategy again, starting with another Calm Mind boost. But Robbie switches in his Whimsicott, which can lock Terapagos into using the move Calm Mind over and over again so it can't actually attack. Marco sees the threat and switches Terapagos out to safety.
The Encore stops the Terapagos from going for the boost. You said earlier on that you tend to fall for it, but Marco has played
Funnily
this
enough,
game
Marco's a better
once
player
or
than I am.
twice.
So the safest thing for Marco to do is just to keep dishing out damage with Terapagos. It might not be hitting as hard as it was in Game 1, but it all adds up.
Now the Whimsicott coming onto the field is not going to be as effective, and I think this is a game plan shift that Marco's been able to execute so effectively, not going for its boosting moves, just going for damage in front of the encoring Whimsicott.
Yeah, really masterfully played by Marco. Is it going to be able to take another Terra Starstorm? Trapagos just dishing them out, chipping away at Robbie's team.
And with Robbie's resources dwindled, Marco claims Game 2 and the best of 3 set.
It's going to be Marco Silva claiming the victory here in Game 1 of EUIC.
I will try to play my best and hopefully get to the finals again.
With an already unprecedented 3 international championships wins to their name, could Marco add a 4th this weekend? I'm delighted with how that cast went overall. I channeled the hype I felt during the opening ceremony directly into the opening match. And that nice natural flow Ben and I have cultivated came to the fore, helped by the hand signals that I mentioned earlier. If one of us raises a finger, for example, that means I have a point to make, so, you know, no rush, but finish your point and then I'm going to jump in. But then there'd be something more urgent for I need to make a point now, or we just do that. In my mind, we had kicked off the tournament right. But then Ben tells me he wasn't feeling in the zone during the game, which surprises me. I thought he was sounding great. Here's another thing I've learned from performing in all forms over the years. How we think we come across is often very different from how we actually come across. Especially under the scrutiny of a camera, we are our own harshest critics. But in fact, things we do that we're not pleased with are barely noticeable by anyone else. This is often the case just in life generally too, I think. It's reassuring to bear in mind, and I remind Ben of this. He's got this. Plus, we're just warming in, many more battles to come.
Well, know how I'm feeling about it, Ben?
How are you feeling about it?
Not.
Who's there?
Woo.
Woohoo.
Exactly. And Ben, thank you so much for representing my Kingdra
Oh my
plushie
god, you
in
got me
your-
again.
The most recent international championships that Marco won was the Latin America International Championships 3 months ago. And of course that's just one of the many tournaments us casters have had to brush up on to prepare for EUIC this weekend. Not only so we know the latest developments in the competitive game, but also so that we can tell the stories of the trainers on stream. But there's one tournament everyone's a bit confused about. You see, the Global Challenge a few weeks ago was played online, and we know the winner only by the alias 33-4. No one has come out to claim ownership of that alias, so oh well, that one's just a mystery to us. For now. Anyway, after that round I'm interviewing Misha, who's staffing the prize wall, and oh no. As we're showcasing what attendees can win by taking part in side events, I start to get that scratchy feeling in the back of my throat. That feeling that means you're getting a cold. Is my voice going to be able to hold out for the rest of the day? And what about the next 2 days of the tournament? And I have something pretty important to tell you. I have cystic fibrosis. It's a medical condition that makes me more prone to infection. It affects all sorts of things in my life. I actually wrote and performed a whole one-man comedy about cystic fibrosis that I'll link in the description. But what this means for my sore throat is that if I do end up with a cold, it might affect me more badly than others. But there's not much I can do about it. So I try to put the gradually growing soreness to one side, and later in the day, after a top-up warm-up, I'm back on the desk for round 5. This time I'll be on the desk with Lee. We've decided just for day 1 of the tournament to do a bit of rotation.
Lee, I know that Deoxys is a special Pokemon to you. I warned Lee that I'd be opening with a joke and he's already losing it. I know Deoxys is a special Pokemon to you, Lee, but did you hear about the restaurant Deoxys opened in space? No. It's great food, really good food apparently, but absolutely no atmosphere. Welcome back, trainers. It's Charlie Merriman on the desk with Lee Provost. I gotta chuck out these things. Let's keep things merry, Lee. I've got a surname to live up to.
2-time regional champion Joseph Ugarte triumphs.
You know, Lou, I would open with a joke about a Weedle with a blunt stinger, but it'd be pointless.
And Yosuke Takiyanagi of Japan betters the UK's Eden Bachelor.
Has been able to secure the game for them here. Ivy Cudgel into the Basque Legion. It's a 2-0 victory for Yosuke Takiyanagi. Arigato!
I love Yosuke's enthusiasm. Just look at the fun he's having. The stakes may be high, but we're playing Pokemon after all. And 24 hours from now, Yosuke would provide my favourite moment of the entire tournament.
Lee, what kind of a dog Pokemon is Dax Bun? Why have you opened with this? Purebred. Welcome back, trainers. Charlie Merriman on the desk with Lee Provost.
Final round of the day, and we're featuring who many would call the greatest of all time. Wolfe Glick is the 2016 World Champion. He's a 10-time regional champion, the only person to have achieved this, his most recent victory being in Toronto a couple of months ago. He's also won an international championship. Will he win another this weekend? In addition, Wolfe is a wildly popular competitive Pokemon content creator. Opposite him, Gennaro Matteo, a relative newcomer. No pressure, Gennaro. But could David beat Goliath? And I'm of course longing to do this match justice, but I'm exhausted having been up since 5 and my throat's feeling even ropier than before. Come on Charlie, try not to focus on that. Be present.
Let's go, trainers! It's Swiss Round 8 of our European International Championships 2025. Wolfe Glick versus Gennaro Matteo. Make some noise for your trainers on stage. Let's go out with a bang!
Now in this competitive format, one Pokemon per team per battle can change its type. It's called terastallizing. Each trainer has chosen this Terra type for each of their Pokemon in advance of the tournament. You can't just decide then and there to change your Pokemon into any of the 18 types. Here, Wolfe's Amoonguss is threatened by super effective flying type damage, so he terastallizes Amoonguss into its dark Terra type, now taking neutral damage from flying instead. But super effective damage from the fairy type draining Kiss move that Gennaro's Calyrex Shadow Rider can use. And Gennaro terastallizes their Calyrex Shadow Rider into its fairy Terra type, boosting the power of the move even more. Can Amoonguss take the hit?
Draining Kiss, boosted by the Terra Fairy, now super effective into Terra Dark Amoonguss.
Oh!
Just gonna be enough for the one-hit KO with a critical hit.
That is a huge critical hit and a massive knockout for Gennaro there, taking down one of the key cornerstones of Wolfe's strategy here.
Well, thanks to a critical hit to boot, no it can't. Critical hits deal way more damage than usual, and there's always a small chance of them happening. Calyrex Shadow Rider has an ability called Grim Neigh, which boosts its power with each knockout it claims, and Gennaro gallops away with the game.
Another Astral Barrage connecting down is going to be enough to pick up both of the Pokemon over on Wolfe's side of the field thanks to the boost. And that's that. A very swift, very decisive Game 1 win to Gennaro with all 4 Pokemon remaining. The underdog coming out on top of the top Wolfe.
But Wolfe reins in Gennaro Game 2. This game, Wolfe's Amoonguss doesn't immediately go down to a critical hit, so it has the room to put 2 of Gennaro's Pokemon to sleep, unable to do anything for up to 3 turns. That makes Gennaro's team much easier to deal with, and Wolfe claws it back.
Close combat, super effective into the Chi-Yu. We love to see it, trainers. We're heading to a Game 3 and our final Swiss round on day 1 of the European International Championships.
But it's looking all over for Wolfe in the decisive game. He doesn't attack the Calyrex Shadow Rider, which lets it use Nasty Plot safely, boosting its damage on future turns. Will it be a shock exit for such a decorated player? Well,
gonna be the Flare Blitz going off before the Calyrex Shadow Rider, boosted by the sun into Gennaro. Wow, okay then. That is something we did not see coming, Lee.
Did not see that coming one little bit. The Koraidon outspeeding the Calyrex, picking up the knockout. That is a key moment in this battle and hidden until this Game 3. Massively done by Wolfe.
It turns out Wolfe has trained his Koraidon to be faster than Calyrex Shadow Rider, which we rarely see. He's gleaned this information from the prior games in this match and catches Gennaro off guard with it now when it really matters. This means Koraidon can nip Calyrex Shadow Rider in the bud. It goes down before it can do a thing with its boost, and Gennaro's game plan crumbles.
Clefairy has no damaging moves. The forfeit is locked in. Your winner of our Swiss Round 8 is going to be 10-time regional champion, Wolfe Glick!
Absolutely a phenomenal turnaround from that Game 1 that looked so bad. Wolfe proving that he is the best of all time.
A massive claim from Lee there. Will Wolfe live up to it?
Initially, I was just messing around, like, to have fun, but it kind of grew into this team that I personally really believe in.
I think Lee and I smashed the last round of the day. We had a fantastic flow. Though he lost, what Gennaro had achieved at this point is no mean feat, and I was pleased that I feel I did him justice in my closing words.
We've got to give so many props, though, to Gennaro. My goodness! Not only first day 2 locked in, but going up against Wolfe Glick in your final Swiss round on the first day of the European International Championships, on that stage for the first time, all the lights, the crowd around you, so many people like your good selves watching at home, and to reach a 6-2 record and claim a game off Wolfe, unbelievable.
And even though Gennaro lost, they still progressed to day 2. You have to win at least 6 of the day's 8 rounds. They're Swiss format, which means you're paired up against people with a similar win-loss record to you. There'll be a couple more Swiss rounds tomorrow, and then we're into the top cut, where if you lose, you're out. Just a quick interjection, if you're enjoying this video, everybody, please do like and subscribe. It would mean a huge amount. 6 months went into just the writing of this video. Just a couple of simple clicks, and it directly supports me as a creator, so I can continue to make videos like this. But for now, back to the video.
This has been a great day. I'm happy.
Oh, I'm thrilled, Sierra. I'm merry, you could say. Are we all feeling merry? Because we should be.
I'm ending the day on a high. Adrenaline has seen me through the exhaustion and my burgeoning cold. Now I can finally take steps to treat it. I head straight back to my room and have a hot paracetamol drink from the little medikit I bring with me to events. I pray I'll be feeling better tomorrow, all the more so given my cystic fibrosis as we get into the business end of the tournament. Crazy to think that in 24 hours time, less than that, we will know who our 2 finalists are at EUIC. So much of the competition to go tomorrow still, so cannot wait to dive in. In fact, how on earth has my voice lasted today? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. It's one of the most important things I learned at drama school. Alexander technique. I grab a couple of books I brought with me and lie with them under my head, hands on my ribs, feet on the floor. This resets how you hold your body, easing any tension. And I find that means, among many other things, my voice tires less easily. I did this every single day for 20 minutes throughout my time at drama school and didn't lose my voice once. I've been doing lots of Alexander technique in the weeks leading up to the Europe International Championships, as I always do when there's an event coming up, and I thank myself for that. It's paid dividends for today. But also, by coming into contact with the sensation of the floor under you, you practice feeling present. The crux of good casting, and I'm proud to have done a good job of feeling present today above all else. As we head into day 2, long may that continue.
Morning, trainers.
Morning.
How are you feeling, Ben?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling good. My throat is still a little bit sore. Let's hope it improves over the course of the day. But Saturday, day 2.
Saturday.
We're going to be going all the way through to Top Cut until we have our 2 finalists. Very exciting. Might have noticed Ben's upside down, mine and there.
Yeah.
There's a chance I'm rocking the Plusle pin. There's a chance, trainers.
Mine and my spirit animal this morning. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
If you don't know, Plusle and Minun are a pair of electric-type Pokemon that sort of charge each other up. From now on, Ben and I are casting exclusively with each other, so they're the perfect mascots. By the way, you might have noticed I was moving my mouth weirdly in that clip. I'd burnt my tongue on the paracetamol drink I'd had the night before. Great! And yeah, not ideal that my throat's still sore, but since I have a later call time, I have just got 8 hours sleep, a huge relief. I've done my daily cystic fibrosis chest physiotherapy. Let me tell you, it was much more palatable doing that at like 8 this morning rather than 5 yesterday morning. With cystic fibrosis, or CF for short, my mucus is thicker than other people's. Delightful. So the physio involves breathing in saltwater vapour to make me cough and shift it. Otherwise, I'll be clearing my throat throughout the day. Not ideal when you're on camera the whole time. Ben and I get straight into our daily warm-up routine, all the more important this morning for my slightly struggling voice, while Lou and Lee cast over Wolfe Glick, winning again, this time against reigning world champion Luca Cherubelli, and then over to Ben and me.
Ben, why did the Kamala fail its job interview?
I don't know, Charlie. Why did the Kamala fail its job interview?
Didn't have the necessary qualifications. Welcome back, trainers, to the stream. It's Charlie Merriman on the desk with Ben Kiriakou. We are raring to go on day 2 of the Europe International Championships. I feel like that you're giving that joke too much credit, Ben. It's not.
Do you know? I'm a real lover of the bad jokes. Like, just.
I'm sorry.
No, the great. Because
thank you.
They get bad enough that they become great again. Like,
there we go.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Love that, Charlie.
Totally.
Love
Thank
that
you.
energy.
2023 world champion Schaaij Kimura beats former Perth regional champion Taryn Birdie.
Why are Wishy-Washy so smart? Because they live in schools.
And then in the final Swiss round before Top Cut, former world champion Code Tsukide comes out on top against 3rd place at Worlds 2023, Mao Harada. 24. That's the number of trainers left in the Europe International Championships of the 1,000 that entered. And from now on, you lose, you're out. Sierra, Ben and I take stock of who's left, while Lou and Lee cast the next 2 rounds. 24 become 16, and 16 become just these 8. Ben and I assume our casting positions once more. We've done a top-up warm-up routine, my adrenaline's in full flow. I just hope my throat and voice can keep rising and rising to the occasion. I'm relieved by how well they've been holding out so far. For casters and players alike, you have to keep bringing more and more of your A-game over the weekend as the competition intensifies. So pleased as I am with my casting so far today, it's time to take it up a notch. And it's time to do away with the opening gags.
And in the blink of an eye, we've reached top 8 at the European International Championships right here in London.
It's the clash of regional champions whom I've mentioned briefly already, Joseph Ugarte of the US versus Taryn Birdie of the UK.
We are quiver dancing with excitement, trainers, getting into our first game of our Masters Top 8.
Joe's off to a lightning fast start, knocking out Taryn's powerful Miraidon early doors.
Into Taryn's Miraidon Terra Fairy. Merri. It's enough to secure the knockout.
And seems to be in prime position to sweep.
From Area 0 to Hero.
But then...
the field, Ivy Cudgel connecting down into the Volcarona. Do we have a crit? Yes, we do! That's the Volcarona down on Joe's side of the field!
Without the critical hit there, the random chance to deal much more damage than usual, Joe's Volcarona would have stuck around, but with it gone, Terran's Ogerpon isn't threatened as much. But it's still going to be so close. Terran's Iron Hands is felled, it's a 1v1 now. Whoever claims the knockout first wins, and Miraidon is faster than Ogerpon. So can Ogerpon take the hit?
Another dazzling gleam. Is the Ogerpon going to be able to hang on over on Terran's side? Is it going to be a win for Terran? It is! Hanging on! 9 HP! Miraidon is going down here to this big wood hammer. Terran claims game 1.
Game 2. Joe tries to block Terran's offense. The move fake out has increased priority, going before most others and making the target unable to act for the turn. But surprise, Terran switches in for Farigiraf. He didn't bring it last game. As mentioned, each Pokemon has an ability, providing a sort of secondary effect in battle, and Farigiraf's is Armor Tail, but blocks priority moves, like Fake Out.
From this Miraidon, Fake Out comes into the Farigiraf, Farigiraf blocks it!
So Terran's Miraidon starts racking up the damage, but now Joe's Volcarona is racking up the boosts. Fiery Dance dishing out damage and fueling its firepower. It knocks out Terran's Miraidon. Will it do the same to Ogerpon?
Another Fiery Dance. How much damage is it going to do to the Ogerpon?
Oh, it hangs on!
It hangs on with 2 HP for Terran.
That's
and another
huge!
Special attack boost.
And Terran's luck doesn't end there.
Working a
critical hit!
But at this point, there's just no stopping Volcarona.
It's now at +4 its special attack right into a Behemoth.
No reason to rush this particular endgame, especially since Terran is locking in the 4th bit. Joe winning game 2. Charlie, top 8 at EUIC. We're going to a game 3.
Final game and Terran catches Joe off guard again. Trick Room is a fascinating move that reverses the speed order. It makes slower Pokemon move first for a few turns. Joe tries to navigate through it and boost up his best bug Volcarona again, but in Trick Room it's taking damage before dealing it. It's vulnerable. So Joe takes a massive risk, switching out Volcarona to preserve it, and switching in its place his powerful Miraidon to take the incoming attacks. Can it take them?
It's
huge
Big Ivy
damage from the low kick. Wild Charge, is it going to be enough? No. Even with the Quark Drive boost here, is this going to be Joe's restricted off the field? Are they going to be down to their final 2 Pokemon? Terran with all 4 remaining. Ivy Cudgel, +1. Goodbye, Miraidon. Really commanding position for Terran here, and an equally commanding Ivy Cudgel right into this Volcarona. It's down as well. 3 Pokemon in the back for Terran. Low kick, huge damage there. It's going to be Terran Birdie securing their spot in top 4 of the European International Championships. And it was all about those little decisions in between, leading the Farigiraf, setting up the Trick Room in that game. That is what caught Joe on the back foot. Volcarona in a position where it had to switch out, sacrifice those boosts, then come back in, not boost it up, be on the receiving end of an Ivy Cudgel. Masterfully done.
I'm feeling amazing. I came into this weekend just hoping for day 2, just to have like a good performance in London, because it's my hometown and I've never done well here. So being in top 4, I can't even describe it.
I am buzzing. What a game. I think I warmed into that match, but ultimately I'm thrilled with the energy I brought. I'd noticed over the past couple of days that I hadn't been pouncing on hype moments when my co-caster was talking, even though that's my job as the play-by-play. Call it British politeness, but it felt great to have acted on that this game.
Boosting up the damage of its
huge
Big Ivy Cudgels.
Damage from the low kick.
And for the most part, Ben and I were sounding like a well-oiled machine. Now here I did sound a bit silly.
The light screen coming up from Grimstyle. Is it going to be too little too late? Choice Specs boosted, Terra Fairy boosted, Hadron Engine boosted, Dazzling Gleam, super effective into both targets, and they're brought down with Grimstyle to about a 6. Iron Hands takes it with about 50%.
My volume was building it up to be a massive turn, but it turned out not to be really. There were no KOs. I could have done something really cool with starting quietly, building up the tension, seeing the move going into the Pokemon, but then dialing it back naturally when I see that it hasn't actually been a big turn. Having left myself the space to do that, keeping the ebb and flow going rather than creating an anticlimax. We learn from it and move on. I want to pick up on ebb and flow there because they're so important. In casting, you aim to create a seamless narrative that immerses the audience so completely, but before they know it, they've absorbed the story of an entire game. We're flowing straight into Wolfe Glick versus Team Masso, our next top 8 match. Can we keep our audience captivated? It felt only right to give Wolfe a personal shout out on broadcast.
There's a strong chance I would not be sitting here without Wolfe Glick. The inspiration that Wolfe provides to so many to get involved in their Pokemon playing scenes.
Would the community witness one of their figureheads going all the way? But if anyone could stop Wolfe, it's Team. So far this tournament, they've defeated not one, but 2 former world champions, Shohei Kimura and Code Tsukide. Are they about to make it a hat trick versus 2016 world champ and one of the all-time greats, Wolfe? The forecast looking good for Taya Team. They have control of the weather.
Whoever has the faster Pokemon will be getting the weather up first. It's of course going to be the Koraidon setting up the sun, but Pelipper's going to overwrite it immediately. Wolfe does not want to see competing weather over on the other side of the field.
Next on Taya Team's to-do list, remove Wolfe's Amoonguss.
But the double up, the Hurricane, super effective into the Amoonguss, but it hangs on.
But it wasn't enough, and now Wolfe might be able to capitalize. His Koraidon suffered an attack drop. Can it still get the KO on Taya Team's most powerful Pokemon, Calyrex?
Here becomes that sun-boosted Flare Blitz with the Life Orb. Although it's enough one, it's enough for one-hit knockout.
Taya Team puts up a valiant fight, but in the end,
battle going to be forfeited. First game goes to Wolfe Glick.
And Wolfe totally shuts down Taya Team's Calyrex again in game 2, but in a totally different way. Wolfe terastallizes, or again changes the type of, his Fluttermane into the normal type, which according to our rock, paper, scissors type chart is immune to Ghost, and Taya Team is taken completely by surprise. He's made his Shadow Rider Calyrex use a Ghost type move.
And Astral Barrage gonna be shrugged off by the Incineroar and immune from that Fluttermane.
Insult to injury, Wolfe puts it to sleep. It's amazing momentum, but Taya Team's Clefairy slams on the brakes. Don't be fooled by its cute looks, Clefairy's a thorn in Wolfe's paw, using the move Follow Me to redirect attacks from Taya Team's bigger damage dealers. Wolfe's aiming to shut it down by putting it to sleep with Amoonguss, but can a Hurricane knock Amoonguss out first? No, but Hurricane has a chance to confuse the target, and that activates. A confused Pokemon damages itself instead of using its move a third of the time. What's it to be?
Let's find out, trainers. Spore or Confusion? It's going to be the Spore. Clefairy shut down. No more redirection on the field.
A tidal wave of pressure coming out from Wolfe right now. Taya Team's Calyrex Shadow Rider still asleep as well as Clefairy, and...
Okay, that's going to be it. That's the forfeit there locked in from Taya Team. We have our next entrant to our top 4 at EUIC. The one, the only, Wolfe Glick.
The bane of world champions up to now has finally met their match. Taya Team Masso is vanquished by Wolfe Glick. While the hype could not be greater and nor could the adrenaline, I'm delighted with the energy I brought, and Ben and I did well to keep the momentum up with quick passes at points.
Taya Team taking their time. I don't blame you, my friend. It all comes down to this. You lose this game, you're out of EUIC.
And if you lose this weather war, things are gonna get dicey as well. Pelipper coming out and Incineroar switching in.
Incineroar dropping the attack, crucially of Wolfe's own Incineroar here.
However, compare it with this.
And this Amoonguss is ready to go on the offensive as well, because with 2 fairies in front of it, a Sludge Bomb would be doing a lot of damage.
And here's Incineroar coming back in. Of course, the Fluttermane no longer immune to a fake out. It's got rid of its ghost typing.
This, in my mind, is the biggest potential pitfall for Ben and me. Our pace of talking can sort of meet in the middle. It's something we've been working on, and I see it more as my responsibility as the play-by-play to pick up my own pace. But I guess heading straight into this match after the previous one, I wasn't quite as on it as before. Sometimes slowing down like that is also a sign of not quite knowing what you want to say next. You're buying yourself time. It raises a bigger point about the temptation as a caster to fill all silences. And whereas you definitely want to avoid dead air, just taking a moment before talking helps you focus and ultimately provide better commentary. So I could have done a better job of that in that game. Overall, I'm happy, but would I be able to give myself that time and space in the semi-finals? My last casts of the day with Ben. Despite the hype, despite the adrenaline, Lou and Lee take over for the final 2 top 8 games while Ben and I focus our thoughts. Dill Yeomans beats Grant Laird. Dill is putting themselves on the map this tournament. They're a relative newcomer, and right here, right now, is their breakout performance. I mean, just listen to the crowd.
How do you feel?
Great, yeah. I don't really know how I'm here, to be honest.
And there's a fond familiar face from yesterday. Yosuke Takiyanagi triumphs over Gavin Michaels.
How do you feel?
Very, very happy and pleasure. Yay!
It slightly breaks my heart that the way the brackets worked out, Yosuke and Dill will be facing each other in the semi-finals, both so endearing, but we'll have to lose one. But the first semi-finals, Taran versus Wolfe. One last top-up warm-up, and Ben and I head to the desk for the last time today. And this is actually the last chance for Ben and me to do justice to the people we've been following all weekend. Whoever wins in these next 2 matches, it'll be Lou and Lee casting their finals tomorrow, while Ben and I are on the juniors and seniors divisions finals. The excitement's through the roof right now. If the crowd was that hyped for top 8, imagine how it'll be for top 4. I'm reflecting on the honour of being a gateway into this game that's so beloved generally and that I love so much personally. A gateway for the thousands in the venue and the hundreds of thousands watching from home. We're about to sit down at the desk, but Ben, wait. Let's knock this out the park. A massive hug to let it all out, and now we can be present.
Taran Birdie, Wolfe Glick, Yosuke Takiyanagi, Dill Yeomans. We know our top 4 at the Pokémon European International Championships 2025. And it is our pleasure, it is our honour to showcase the very best of what Pokémon competitive video game has to offer.
Which of them will it be? Wolfe or Taran? It's time to get into our first game of Masters Top 4A. Make some noise, everybody! It's Wolfe Glick versus Taran Birdie.
And Koraidon and Incineroar leading out here for Wolfe, Miraidon and the Whimsicott leading out for Taran.
The Pokemon Wolfe's chosen to lead with put him on the front foot against Taran's leads. His Incineroar can use Fake Out, making Taran's Miraidon unable to act for this turn only, while Koraidon can double down with a big attack. Taran could Terrastallize his Miraidon into the Fairy type, so it can take better the Fighting type move that Wolfe is likely going for, or he could switch in a different Pokemon from the back to take the massive hit instead. Neither is ideal. What will Taran do?
Immediate terror here in our first game of top 4 between Wolfe and Taran at the European International Championships. Wolfe's Koraidon going for its Terra Fire. It now resists fairy type moves. It's bolstered by the sun. It's basking in that sunlight. Its Orichalcum Pulse, a frenzy. Fake Out connecting right down into Taran's Miraidon here. Tailwind being set up, but the Miraidon not going to be able to move. It's going to be flinching this turn. Here comes a big sun boosted Orichalcum Pulse boosted close combat. It's enough to the Miraidon. Enough for the KO into Taran's restricted Pokemon.
No Terrastalization, no switch, and now no powerful restricted Pokemon for Taran. It couldn't have been a more explosive turn 1, and right now Taran doesn't have much he can turn it around with. He goes all in with as big an attack as he can muster on Wolfe's Incineroar.
Right down into Wolfe's Incineroar, hanging on with 12 HP.
But it wasn't enough. Wolfe is running absolutely rampant. Koraidon's back in with a big, super effective hit online into Whimsicott. However, Taran can now keep his Ogerpon safe for a turn with Spiky Shield. If Wolfe targets this slot with Koraidon, it gives Urshifu an opening to potentially knock out Wolfe's biggest hitter by far.
It's going to make it. No, it's just about going to be able to secure the knockout here. So Wolfe's Koraidon is down.
It gets there, but Wolfe sends in is even more terrifying. Screamtail? Make no mistake, similar to Clefairy, its cute looks belie a soul-crushing strategy. The move Encore locks the opponent into the move it's just used for a few turns, and Spiky Shield gets more and more likely to fail if used in succession. Basically, this means Ogerpon's now a sitting duck. And now Wolfe can go for the move he's notorious for using. You can hear the crowd going wild for Perish Song. This is a move unlike any other in Pokemon. All Pokemon who are on the field when Perish Song is used faint after 3 turns. Taran's final 2 Pokemon are on the field, but Wolfe has one more in the back, Gothitelle. So if Wolfe can keep his Gothitelle that's been unaffected by the Perish Song around for 3 turns, Taran's final 2 Pokemon go down, Gothitelle remains on the field and Wolfe wins. Can he do it? Gothitelle's not going to be able to take one more of those, but Wolfe's covered for that too. Screamtail's already locked Urshifu into that Surging Strikes move with Encore, and now it goes for Disable. Disable means the target cannot use the move it just chose, but it has to use the move it just chose due to Encore. It's a deadly duo of moves, and together they mean that Urshifu can do nothing, and Gothitelle's safe. Wolfe's given us a masterclass, seemingly in control at every stage. He's got this game on lock. Now, Taran would make history if he were to win this semi-final.
Trainers, do you know the last time a player from the UK reached top 4 in international championships? It's been one trainer who's done that. It's standing to my left right now. Ben Kiriakou.
In EUIC, the first EUIC in 2017, and then a follow-up in OCIC in 2017, 4th place and 3rd place.
How poignant for Ben to be commentating over his own record potentially being broken. But for that to have a chance of happening, Taran has to win this next game of the best of 3. And it proves to be another masterclass. Wolfe's Koraidon again easily knocks out Whimsicott with Flame Charge, boosting Koraidon's speed, but not before Whimsicott sets Tailwind. Tailwind raises the speed of Terran's whole team, and more so than Koraidon with one Flame Charge boost. But whereas Koraidon's speed boost will remain in effect as long as Koraidon remains on the field, Tailwind expires after a few turns. So Terran needs to capitalise while he can, but will he be able to?
Hold
Draco Meteor!
Draco Meteor into the
It's enough!
It's enough to secure the one-hit KO onto Wolfe's Amoonguss.
This Urshifu is going to get an opportunity potentially to go for a Terra Water Surging Strikes in the sun after a close combat.
Close combat is enough!
It's enough!
To secure the knockout. It's one-hit knockouts all around, trainers.
Wolfe has just claimed 2 knockouts in as many turns. And it only gets worse for Terran.
Close combat, another one-hit KO from this Koraidon.
Turn 3 and knockout 3. But it's into Terran's Ogerpon instead of his legendary, restricted, most powerful Pokemon Miraidon. Why? Well, it's due to Miraidon's held item. Like abilities, held items have a sort of secondary effect in battle, and Miraidon's held item is the Choice Specs, which permanently ups its offense at the expense of only being able to use one attack. And Wolfe's final Pokemon this time is Fluttermane. It's a fairy type, which according to our rock, paper, scissors type chart takes no damage at all from dragon type moves. Like the Draco Meteor we've seen Terran's Miraidon is locked into. Miraidon cannot touch Fluttermane. And the cherry on top of Wolfe's master plan? That Tailwind Terran set up at the start of the game? At the end of this 4th turn is when it expires. So Koraidon with its speed boost from turn 1 now outspeeds and threatens the immediate knockout onto Miraidon. There's literally nothing Terran can do. A story in 4 acts, or should I say turns. A beautifully played game by Wolfe.
Such a decisive display, such a dominant display. Your first finalist of EUIC is Wolfe Glick.
Wolfe's howl echoes around the arena, and it's one that's been building for 6 years.
Something I want to shout out. This is the first time that Wolfe has made it to an IC final in 6 years since he won the North American International Championships in 2019.
And he could do it all over again.
Could do it again.
Winning another international championships here in Europe.
Terran put up a valiant fight, but he wasn't able to beat Ben's record. However, Dill Yeomans on the other side of the bracket might, to become the first player from the UK ever to go beyond top 4 at an international championships. We've seen how much heart both Dill Yeomans and Yosuke Takiyanagi have brought to EUIC, and it's wonderful to see them enthusing with each other even in the heat of top 4. But which will it be, joining Wolfe Glick in the grand finals tomorrow?
It is so heartwarming to see Dill having such a fantastic time on stage. Clearly can't even believe it. Bringing a tear to Dill's eyes, bringing a tear to our eyes as well. The community believes in you, Dill. The community believes in you, Yosuke. Make some noise, everybody. It's Dill Yeomans versus Yosuke Takiyanagi. Let's get into our second top 4 match. Who's joining Wolfe Glick in the finals? It's time to find out.
All of Dill's damage is blocked turn 1 as Yosuke protects both their Pokemon. Dill's Miraidon gets good damage off, but not before taking a hit from Fluttermane. Now, want to know how to read your opponent's mind? Again, Pokemon is played with open team sheets, so Dill and Yosuke can see each other's Pokemon, moves, abilities, held items, and terrestrialization types, just like we've seen in the graphics at the start of the game. Yosuke knows on this turn that Iron Hands can use Fake Out on Fluttermane, making it flinch, unable to act this turn, while Miraidon could secure the knockout. For this reason, Dill predicts that Yosuke is likely to have their Fluttermane use Protect, so it's safe from all this. Therefore, instead of Fake Out, Dill in fact has their Iron Hands go for a bigger attack onto Amoonguss so they can claim an advantage this turn. Meanwhile, switching Miraidon out and into a Pokemon that applies more pressure to Fluttermane. Beautifully played by Dill. Understanding the pressure that Fake Out was applying to Yosuke meant they could use it to their advantage. And now Dill's in a position where one more hit removes Amoonguss and one more super effective hit removes Fluttermane. It's not just about the explosive knockouts, every bit of chip damage matters. But Yosuke comes roaring back.
Here comes that Glacial Lance. Is it going to be enough to secure the KO on Miraidon? It is! Double KO and a double chilling Nay boost onto Yosuke's Calyrex.
A double knockout. In the blink of an eye, it's gone from a 2 against 4 to a 2 against 2. If anything, Yosuke now with the advantage. Calyrex Ice Rider's Chilling Nay ability sharply boosts its attack, having knocked out 2 Pokemon in one turn. We've stepped on the gas now. Can Dill rein Calyrex Ice Rider in before it bolts to victory? Well, Dill has exactly the piece they need in the back. Single Strike style Urshifu. It's a part Dark type that threatens the secondary Psychic type on Calyrex Ice Rider with super effective damage. It also has an ability that lets it hit through Protect, so there's nowhere to hide. Calyrex Ice Rider is felled and the advantage switches right back to Dill. 2 Pokemon against Yosuke's 1, and it doesn't have enough gas in the tank.
Dill of the UK. Trying to imitate you here, Ben. Reaching top 4, a player from the UK might just be heading through to the finals tomorrow. 1 game closer to doing so.
They might be able to even surpass that record.
1 game stands between Dill and going further than any UK player has gone before. Dill wants to protect their most powerful Pokemon Miraidon. They switch it out for a slightly less crucial piece that should be able to take the hit better. But because Yosuke was lured in to target that powerful Miraidon, Iron Hands is left alone to wreak havoc. And even now Yosuke and Dill are sharing a laugh, they know what's coming.
It's going to be enough for the 1-hit knockout onto Yosuke's Flutter Mane!
This whole semi-final so far has been more positional, less explosive than Terran and Wolfe's. Next, Dill and Yosuke trade knockouts on Miraidon and Amoonguss. But now, Dill might just have the upper hand. Here comes once more their saviour from the last game, single strike style Urshifu. History might be repeating itself in that sense, but Dill is on the cusp of making history by being the first UK player to reach the finals of an international championships, thereby beating Ben's record.
Now the opportunity for a fake out is guaranteed to be able to land into this Chi-Yu. The close combat, the move of choice, doing slightly more damage than the wicked blow in this situation. Urshifu picking up the knockout here onto Calyrex.
And it looks like this Urshifu single strike once more is going to be the deciding factor in this game. Our Masters Division top 4B between Dylan and Yosuke. It's just the Chi-Yu on the field. You're facing down 2 fighting types. They threaten you for super effective damage. Yosuke taking the time to decide to lock into a heat wave. Are they going to get the critical hit? No. But are they going to get a burn on the Urshifu? It doesn't really matter. The close combat should be enough to secure the knockout here. 1 HP in a dream for Dill. Single strike Urshifu connecting into the Chi-Yu. It's the knockout. Dill Yeomans of the UK is going up against Wolfe Glick in the finals tomorrow.
Trainers, you're making so much noise here for Dill, but see if you can get a little bit louder.
Look at how much it means to Dill. It's bringing a tear to my eye. They cannot believe it. UK versus US at the European International Championships Grand Finals tomorrow.
And what you're about to see is my favourite moment of the entire weekend.
It was last year.
It's been a very long time since a UK representative was able to make it this far in an international championship, but Dill has made it as far as they can so far into the finals, getting an opportunity to take it all the way.
The wholesome scenes on stage just making my heart all the more warm. That embrace between those 2 trainers, Yosuke could not be more thrilled for their opponent. The golden sparkles flying across the stage. What an EUIC. And it doesn't end here.
Every single time I watch that, Yosuke having a heart-to-heart with Dill, I get shivers down my spine. Beyond gracious in defeat, congratulating Dill and making the moment even more special for them. In all likelihood, having only met Dill for the very first time only half an hour or so ago. That's what Pokemon does. It brings people together. And Yosuke exemplifies the very best of what this community has to offer. So Yosuke bows out as the chants of "Let's go Dylan" echo around the arena. Dill, a relative newcomer to the scene, has won the hearts of the crowd. They've got the home turf advantage. Will this see them all the way to glory tomorrow in the grand finals against arguably the greatest competitive Pokemon player of all time, Wolfe Glick? It's going to be a match for the ages. I'll be honest, I'm disappointed with my casting in both those semi-finals. Don't get me wrong, the energy I brought, the ebbs and flows, and the content of what I said was solid. But I want to go much further than just solid, and 2 things are preying on my mind. Firstly, after holding up valiantly for most of the day, and teetering on the edge for more than 24 hours, my voice was finally starting to go. I think I covered it fairly well, but it meant, for example, I couldn't hype up the victories as much as I wanted. And secondly, my flow with Ben was starting to falter by the time we reached Dill versus Yosuke. For example,
and of course, in electric terrain, one of the main utilities for Amoonguss in that Spore is not going to be effective here.
Iron Hands can switch in oh so safely here, getting that Quark Drive boost to its physical attack as well.
Quark Drive activating on the Iron Hands, boosting up its attack and getting Fake Out onto the board.
I'd said barely anything before handing back to Ben, despite the fact that there were plenty of things to talk about. Hence Ben's repetition there. He'd been caught off guard. Stopping short like that is definitely a symptom of not being totally in the moment. Maybe tiredness or my cold or probably both were catching up with me. And as you could hear there, not feeling present meant I'd settled into that slower, less lively cadence and that my voice sounded forced. I asked at the start of this video if I'd do justice to casting EUIC. And for that top 4 at least, my answer is no. Sure, I'm being pretty critical, but I always strive to do my very best. Aim for the stars and you might reach the treetops. I'm proud overall of my performance today and feel like, yes, maybe I've reached those treetops. But as I'm lying there recovering, doing my Alexander technique, the tension of another long day slowly but surely easing away, my eyelids growing heavy, I think, wouldn't it be wonderful if tomorrow on Championship Sunday for the grand finals of the junior and senior divisions, I could reach the stars.
Championship Sunday.
Raring to go.
Exactly. We're going to be doing the juniors and seniors finals, and really interesting storylines coming out from them. And I'm fascinated to see how their play will differ from what we see in the Masters finals.
You know what? I think it's going to be pretty close. I think it's going to be pretty close. These juniors and seniors, there's a lot of teams that we see in the Masters as well.
Right.
There's some identical to what we've seen at regional championships, and some identical to what we've seen this weekend.
Yeah.
They're clearly piloting them really well. It's a tough competition. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and some big names to keep our eyes on in the future. And in terms of our Masters finalists, Wolfe, Glick, Dill, Yeomans. Once again, we have a newcomer and a veteran meeting in the finals. Dill from the UK, Wolfe, of course, from the US. Here at EUIC, it's going to be so hype, and I cannot wait. I'm also doing the closing ceremony. Yeah, some building, and also a later call time because VG always happens last, so we benefited from that. All right, throat's still feeling a bit ropey, but
we'll get through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been taking as good care of it as I can. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Just need to do a proper warm-up. Looking forward to our warm-up, Ben. Perfect.
The whole weekend has been building up to today, Championship Sunday. It sees the finals for all the games. Pokémon Unite, then Pokémon Go, then the Pokémon trading card game, and then us, the Pokémon video game, to round it all out. The lie-in this morning was welcome after 2 10-hour-plus days. My voice still isn't back to 100% yet, but breathing in the steam in my shower this morning was helpful. Steam lubricates the vocal cords much faster than drinking water. Ben and I then researched the juniors and seniors finalists. And let's just say for now, we're going to have quite the matches on our hands. We step into the venue during the Pokemon Go finals. The atmosphere's different today. Hopes and dreams are being realised right here, right now, in London, February 23rd, 2025. And that's the atmosphere in which Ben and I do our final warm-up of the Europe International Championships. We're ready to give this everything. We head to the couch area during the Trading Card Game Masters finals, not the casting desk this time. Whereas the casting desk is tucked away backstage, the couch area is out front in amongst the audience, right there in the heart of the action. I love that the finals are casted from here. I'm reminded of all the stage acting I've done before and how much I feed off that direct connection with the audience. And I'm reminded of how much fun I had doing the opening ceremony out here for that reason. And now Ben and I get to soak up this unparalleled energy for casting the finals. This is it. Hundreds of people have been gathering. It really brings home what an honour it is to be guiding everyone through the next 2 finals. And there's a face I recognise. My incredible girlfriend has come to support me in the finals. And no, she doesn't follow competitive Pokemon at all. It means more than the world to see her, and as I hug her, everything else in my mind melts away. Ben and I are ushered on set, and I'm present. I'm ready.
Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Go, Pokemon trading card game. That leaves one, trainers. We've reached the Pokemon video game. I'm Charlie Merriman.
And I'm Ben Kiriakou, and we are here to get ourselves kicked off with the VG Championship Sunday. And of course, just like our Masters, our juniors have been battling it out through all of these rounds of Swiss and Top Cut, as have our seniors, to be able to make it here to the final stage. We've got the junior finals coming up, of course, Ishmael and Fabian, and then we have our senior finals up next. Louis, there are other finalists in the senior division, Ian.
And then for our Masters, of course, Wolfe, Glick, you might have heard of him, trainers, as well as Dill, Yeomans. Cannot wait to get into the action. Let's make some noise for your finalists, please.
$5,000 on the line for our juniors and seniors if they win here, and for the Masters, $15,000. But frankly, I think the most important thing to all of our trainers is the thing you cannot put a price on, the title of being European International Champion 2025. Ismail Ogi of France is this season's junior winner of the Latin America International Championships. Fabian Musicant of Germany is last season's junior winner of the Latin America International Championships. They've faced each other at majors 7 times before now. Ismail winning 4 of those matches and Fabian winning 3. Can Fabian equalise today? Ismail's going to be pulling out all the stops though. They finished second at last year's EUIC. I met them then since I was hosting, so they're even keener to go all the way this time. Expect fireworks.
Let's take a deeper dive into what Ismail is using this time round. Calyrex Ice Rider, Amoonguss Torkoal, Smeargle, Indeedee Female, and Iron Crown.
Ismail's powerful but slow team relies heavily on the Trick Room strategy we saw before, making slower Pokemon move first for a few turns.
Let's have a little bit of a look at what Fabian is going to be running, and here it is, Calyrex Shadow Rider. So we have a 2-horse race here, Galarian Breezing, Roaring Moon, Urshifu Rapid Strike style, Indeedee Female that's not going to be making an appearance, and Iron Hands.
Fabian's team on the other hand is very speedy, and wants to sweep through Ismail's before Trick Room goes up. Now, due to a discrepancy between the team sheet Fabian filled in before the tournament and their actual team in-game, they've been forbidden from using their Indeedee in the final. Fabian has to choose from just 5 Pokemon, while Ismail can choose from 6 as is standard. Can Fabian do the unthinkable and win with an incomplete team?
Charlie, it looks like we're getting into our first match.
Ismail versus Fabian, everybody. Our VG Junior Finals, Game 1. It's the horsemen staring each other down. Indeedee against the Urshifu Rapid Strike.
Ismail has to set up Trick Room with their Ice Rider Calyrex. Ismail's Indeedee can redirect Urshifu's move as it only targets 1 Pokemon.
And it's going to be the Surging Strikes coming out from Urshifu Rapid Strike, redirected into the Indeedee here. There's no Rocky Helmet, no recoil damage. With this third Surging Strike, Indeedee, you're out.
But not Shadow Rider Calyrex's, as that targets both. Can the Ice Rider take the hit and get Trick Room up? Yes.
Get any damage off onto the Calyrex, but there it is, Calyrex twisting those dimensions.
Now Fabian has to stall out the 4 turns of Trick Room and Ismail going first. He protects both his Pokemon this turn, but that move gets much more likely to fail when used in succession. Fabian has to keep their most powerful Pokemon, Shadow Rider, safe. Now the only option really is to switch in another Pokemon to massive damage.
The Sun and the Terrain though already on the field. The Weezing is coming into a massive blow.
Big one-hit knockout.
Urshifu is brought right down to its focus sash.
And it's going to be a follow-up move from the Calyrex here. Any attack whatsoever, as long as it connects on this Urshifu, will give it a Chilling Neigh boost.
Chilling Neigh bolstering the physical attack of this Calyrex. It might be a Terrifier, trainers, but it's going to be snowballing.
Thanks to Ice Rider's Chilling Neigh ability, it gets a boost to how hard it hits with each knockout it claims. Ismail's momentum is gathering. Now down to their last 2 Pokemon, Fabian can use Protect on their Shadow Rider again, but Iron Hands doesn't have access to that move. Can it make it through the turn?
Maximum damage now the Chilling Neigh boost has come out. Calyrex is able to protect itself, but Iron Hands is susceptible to an attack. First we're going to see the Eruption. This is how these Trick Room teams really like to operate, getting as much damage while you're in Trick Room as possible.
And it's massive into the Iron Hands. That Pokemon cannot protect. It's holding the Assault Vest. There's the Wild Charge, but the Calyrex Ice Rider hanging on. This is an absolutely huge turn for Ismail here. High horsepower connecting into the Iron Hands. That is down as well.
It's another Chilling Neigh boost for this Calyrex.
And now it's Fabian's Shadow Rider against the world. But there's one more turn of Trick Room, one more turn when it's not moving first. Fabian's only hope is to go for a double Protect to stall out this final turn of Trick Room. Only a 33% chance.
Calyrex is not going to have to try to get another
Protect there. It's able to stall out the Trick Room at the end of this turn. The speed orders are going to be reversed back into the Calyrex Shadow Rider's favour. It's going to be the fastest thing on the field, but does it have enough gas in the tank? Has this horse been fed well enough in order to withstand the onslaught Ismail is providing?
Against all odds, Fabian might just turn this around. Ismail doesn't have enough HP on their Ice Rider to take another hit and get another Trick Room set up. Ismail's Pokemon are just too slow to get much done outside of Trick Room.
Here comes that shiny Amoonguss, a big Astral Barrage boosted by the Lightfall, connecting down into Ismail's side of the field. The Amoonguss takes it!
And so,
Ismail has done so well. Are his Pokemon going to be able to hang on? Here comes the next Astral Barrage, clattering down into Torkoal and Amoonguss. It's a double KO!
Fabian taking that game when all looked like it was lost, taking him one step closer to taking this finals here. And it's all going to come down to these calls, these reads, trying to find as many outs as you can all the way through.
Fabian thanking their lucky start, or should I say, plush. And sure, it was lucky that Fabian got that double protect, but the skill was in knowing that that was their best play. It takes guts to click a move that will in all likelihood fail, but if Fabian doesn't do that, they instantly lose anyway. Fabian went for it, and it worked out. But heading into Game 2 of, as always, a best-of-3 set, they'll want a surer win condition than that.
We'll have to see how the leads match up as we get into Game 2.
Once again, Ismail needs to set up that Trick Room with their Ice Rider. And once again, Ismail terastallizes it into the Fire type, so it no longer takes super effective damage from Fabian's Shadow Rider.
Time once more for Ismail to terastallize their Calyrex Ice Rider into the Fire type. Calyrex Fire Rider has hit the field trainers and is going to be blazing its trail, hopefully through to a Game 3. Fake out right down into the Urshifu Rapid Strike. It's not going to be able to move this turn, and there goes that Trick Room.
And Calyrex didn't have to take any damage because the Calyrex Shadow Rider was switched out from Fabian. So just making sure that the Trick Room was set up regardless of what happened. Get a fake out onto the Urshifu, go for the Terrafire, make sure you're not taking super effective damage from that Astral Barrage.
Now Fabian once again has to stall out the next few turns of Trick Room until their Shadow Rider can move first again. Ismail attempts to shut down Fabian's team with Sleep, but Fabian keeps their Shadow Rider safe. Trick Room now over, Fabian's Shadow Rider can do its thing. But this time Ismail's Ice Rider has enough health left to take another hit and set up another Trick Room. Can Ismail's Amoonguss hang on too?
Iron Hand is coming in fresh-faced and awake. Here comes a big Astral Barrage. Is it going to be enough to secure either knockout here? No!
Amoonguss hanging on!
Amoonguss hangs on with 9 HP!
Look at that, getting a Spore off onto this Calyrex and allowing Calyrex on Ismail's side to maybe go for a Trick Room here, set up that second devastating Trick Room.
It can, meaning it can put the Shadow Rider to sleep, unable to act. It's guaranteed to be asleep for the first turn, but it can wake up any turn after that. And if it doesn't wake up now, Fabian can't use Protect and it goes down.
It wakes up, it goes for the Protect. That's huge in order to stall out some turns here. Another big eruption though, connecting down onto the Galarian Weezing.
Now Iron Hands threatens a fake out onto Ismail's side, so one of their Pokemon won't be able to act this turn. This gives Fabian the room to attack with their Shadow Rider.
And that's Calyrex going for the Protect here from the fake out, but where did Fabian target? It was into the Torkoal slot, which couldn't protect, as you said. Astral Barrage.
And that means, since it hasn't used Protect in succession, it's guaranteed to be able to use Protect on the next turn, the last turn of Trick Room. Shadow Rider is about to be the fastest thing again, and it's all looking uncomfortably familiar.
And super effective, of course. That Smeargle is down and out. It's now all down to Calyrex and the Torkoal.
But Calyrex and Torkoal do have what it takes to be able to try and knock out this Calyrex, but the Calyrex not even targeting it down, just going for that high horsepower.
And it brings the Iron Hands down to roughly a third of its HP, and that puts it in range of a KO from something like Glacial Lance.
Now, whether or not the Iron Hands is carrying the Assault Vest, and of course it is, even it's not known for being able to take those special attacks so well, so there is an opportunity here for Ismail to get an attack off.
Fabian really popping off there, predicting perhaps what Ismail was going for. Here comes a big Astral Barrage, connecting down into the Torkoal. No damage to the protecting Calyrex. It hangs on with 13 hit HP. But did Torkoal go for Eruption? Which is... No! It doesn't matter!
We're not in Trick Room anymore!
Into the Torkoal there. Torkoal is down. Ismail seems to be once more on this back hoof with that protected Calyrex there, heading into this next turn, staring down two very threatening opponents.
One Pokemon standing between Fabian and his EUIC title.
That's it! Your EUIC Junior Champion, Fabian Musicant!
Congratulations, Fabian. Keep it up, crowd.
And keep it up, Fabian, as well. We cannot wait to monitor your competitive video game journey through the years. Same goes to you, Ismail, our EUIC runner-up in 2024, our EUIC runner-up in 2025. That sort of consistency, very hard to come by in the competitive video game.
Being the champion is what all of our trainers are vying for, of course, but you cannot ignore the consistency of getting to the finals over and over again, and I'm sure we will see Ismail taking the crown as they did back in LAIC.
Fabian Musicant is our video game junior champion at the Europe International Championships 2025. And let's not forget they achieved this with just 5 Pokemon rather than the usual 6 after their Indeedee was banned. Unbelievable. And Fabian's win that game was far less luck-based than Game 1. It didn't come down to a 33% chance of a double protect. It was thanks to Fabian's clever board positioning, buying themselves the opportunity to weave in protects where they mattered most to navigate through Trick Room. History repeats itself for Ismail, runner-up at EUIC last year and now runner-up again. But what an outstanding achievement that is in itself. And now Fabian's balanced out the record.
That's the 8th match between these trainers, and now Fabian has leveled the record. They've now got 4 wins each against each other. Pokemon games are all about those friendly rivalries we have, inspiring each other to be the very best like no one ever was, and this is certainly one that's developing right here in London.
A thrilling way to wrap up Ismail and Fabian's storyline for now, but who knows what the future holds.
You just won the event. How are you feeling?
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, du hast EUIC gewonnen. Wie fühlst du dich?
Ich fühle mich super erleichtert, weil ich war sehr nervös am Anfang.
I'm feeling super relieved because I was very, very nervous in the beginning.
Give it up, everyone, for Fabian, your VGC Junior Champion!
From my perspective, I'm feeling great about my casting there. My ailing voice had been my main concern, but it's sounding strong, and I'm thanking myself for being so disciplined doing Alexander technique regularly. I felt like I made really good use of my vocal range too, keeping things sounding fresh. I was fully invested in the energy I was bringing, and Ben and I had a great flow. I did miss a couple of things, most crucially the message towards the end of the last game that Trick Room was now over. The messages are only on screen very briefly, and remember, they were in French since we were seeing Ismail's screen. I can speak French a bit, but the words didn't catch my eye as much. Trick Room being over here meant Fabian was essentially set to win, so my commentary could have been more authoritative at this point as a result.
It hangs on with 13 hit points, but did Talker go for Eruption, which is... No! It doesn't matter!
We're not in Trick Room anymore!
Into the Talker there!
But as we've seen, things like this happen, and you move on without fuss. As soon as I realised, I adapted. But overall, I achieved what's always my main aim, being present. So, have I now graduated from the treetops to the stars? No. Not yet. Could I reach them with Ben during our final cast of the Europe International Championships 2025? The culmination of the months of work we've put in together.
Well, that's one of our VG finals down already, trainers, 2 to go. Now, we turn our attention to the seniors.
Ian Larson of the USA versus Louis Fonvier of France, and another amazing story about to have another chapter added. Louis is on an absolute tear at the moment. They have won all 3 of the most recent regional championships in Gdansk, Poland, Stuttgart, Germany, and Birmingham, UK. Can they keep up this staggering momentum? If anyone can stop them though, it's Ian. They are Louis' only loss so far this tournament, in the final Swiss round yesterday. Does that mean Ian's got this on lock, or does Louis know how to adapt? Ian's team comprises Miraidon, Grimmsnarl, Volcarona, Urshifu Rapid Strike Style, Ditto, and Iron Hands. The idea is Grimmsnarl can set up Reflect and Light Screen to reduce the amount of damage Ian's team takes for a few turns, while powerful pieces like Miraidon and Urshifu Rapid Strike Style sweep through. Now Ditto is a unique Pokemon that transforms into whatever's directly opposite it on the battlefield. It'll be really hard for Louis to plan for. Louis themselves will be running Ice Rider Calyrex, Amoonguss, Roaring Moon, another Urshifu Rapid Strike Style, Ogerpon, and Landorus. As we know from Ismail's team, Ice Rider tends to want Trick Room up, but Louis' composition is more flexible. Tailwind from Roaring Moon means the team can go faster if it wants. This very team won a regional championship in San Antonio a month prior. Can Louis now pilot it to international success?
Let's hit the field, trainers. Make some noise for Ian Larson, Louis Fonvier, Miraidon and Urshifu versus Landorus and Ogerpon Hearthflame.
Brace yourself for a massive turn.
Terra Fairy going to stop it, taking super effective damage, of course, from ground-type attacks from that Landorus, but it's going to open the door as a Draco Meteor.
Draco Meteor connects right into Louis' Ogerpon. The one-hit KO. It couldn't be a more explosive start to kick off our video game senior finals.
And this Urshifu's going to get a chance to get a surging strike, so we're going to get a double KO
goodness
here.
Gracious me, we certainly are, Ben. That's one strike. You don't even need the third. That's two strikes. That is Landorus already down. Ian immediately on the front foot.
What an explosive turn one in this game.
Ian could not be off to a better start. 2 knockouts in 1 turn. Is the game just over? Not necessarily. Ian doesn't double down on Louis' Ice Rider, and it sets Trick Room up.
Now all eyes on Louis Calarac's Ice Rider. Is it going to be able to set up that Trick Room? Yes, it is. Is the reverse sweeping coming? Only time will tell.
So Ice Rider is now the fastest thing on the field. But this is what Ditto can do.
Oh, it's a switch out from Ian's Miraidon. What's coming in from the back?
Oh,
there it is, trainers.
Here it is.
It's the Ditto. If there's one way Ian might be able to claim their footing back in this game, it's by transforming into Louis' restricted. You got two restricted Pokemon essentially now. If you're Ian,
it has become an Ice Rider Calyrex. And with Ian bringing Louis' own Ice Rider right down to the red, Ian's turning Louis' game plan against them.
Here's the first surging strikes, here's the second one. They always get that critical hit. And the Calyrex is hanging on by a sliver.
A Pokemon's speed stat determines when it moves in a turn. The higher it is, the faster they'll be. But when 2 Pokemon have the same speed stat, like Louis' Ice Rider and Ian's Ditto that's copied it, it's a 50-50 coin flip as to who will move first.
And Calyrex is going to be able to attack with a Glacial Lance unless this Ditto goes first.
No, it will be the Ditto going for the Glacial Lance.
It's all coming up Ian in this first game. Just Louis' Urshifu against the world.
Of course, the Miraidon in the back for Ian has gone for its Fairy-type Terrestrialization. It's no longer resisting those surging strikes. Foul play, really nice damage. Is this Glacial Lance going to be enough to secure game 1 for Ian?
Yes, it is.
That's going to be Ian securing game 1. One step closer to being your senior division EUIC VG champion.
Sometimes in Pokemon, a game is essentially decided on turn 1, and that's what happened there. No team is perfect, and Louis happens to struggle against big Dragon-type damage like Draco Meteor. There wasn't really anything they could switch in safely to take the hit. But somehow Louis has to get off to a better start in Game 2 or their tournament is over.
Here it is, Calyrex and Ogerpon, Miraidon and Urshifu kicking us off for Game 2.
Let's make some noise for Game 2, everybody! Miraidon versus the Calyrex Ice Rider is both restricted on the field. Urshifu staring down Ogerpon half flame.
With Louis leading their Ice Rider, Miraidon is once again threatened by super effective damage, so it terastalizes. But this time,
from Area 0 to Hero on the field, follow me coming out from the Ogerpon. Let's hope that it has enough gas in the tank to see it through. This turn 1, Draco Meteor is going to miss into the Ogerpon.
Draco Meteor misses, the downside of this powerful move. So Louis can get Trick Room set up much earlier. Can they capitalize on it?
Such a powerful move, but not a perfect one. Nothing is, as Glacial Lance does take Miraidon down to about a third. A responding Ivy Cudgel, is it going to be enough for the KO? It is! Miraidon is down, the restricted Pokemon down, the terrestrialization option down for Ian. Louis saying no, I am here at the EUIC Senior Finals, and I'm in business!
Oh yes, they can. Ian switches in Grimmsnarl, setting up Reflect to lessen the damage their team takes from Louis' onslaught, and has their Ditto become Louis' Ice Rider once more. If you've lost your own restricted Pokemon, why not just copy your opponent's? But Louis is squarely on the front hoof.
But it is a big knockout, only Grimmsnarl now to knock out for Louis.
And the forfeit's locked in, Louis Fonvier showing why they've been on such a tear the past few events and not wanting it to end here, showing they have enough gas in the tank to keep up that consecutive streak. Trainers, we're going to go to a Game 3.
Really, the Draco Meteor miss was just as explosive as when it hit in the first game, but of course for the opposite reasons. It meant Ogerpon could secure the knockout onto Ian's Miraidon on the next turn, and you could see how crucial Trick Room was for Louis there. Can they do the same again, or will Ian deny them this time? Hugely exciting for the crowd that we're going to a third game, epic for the final cast of the tournament for Ben and me, but the pressure could not be greater for Ian and Louis, who will emerge as our Seniors Division 2025 Pokémon Europe International Champion.
But it all comes down to this, everybody go wild for our Game 3 between Ian Larson and Louis Fonvier!
Ian terrestrializes their Miraidon as they've done every game to take potential ice moves better, and
just the Calyrex keeping itself safe.
Calyrex going for a protect, just making sure that it's not taking any damage this turn. Grimmsnarl gets that reflect that's going to drop down the damage of both the Ogerpon.
Oh, there it is! Another connect. Ogerpon, the one-hit KO, just like in game 1.
Miraidon finds its mark again this time. Ian's off to a flying start.
Time for Ditto to return to the field much earlier than it did in the previous 2 games. It's become a Calyrex Ice Rider once more, and now the tables are flipped. It's going to be the Landorus that's far more threatened than that Miraidon was on the previous turn.
The crowd loves to see Ditto get up to its mischief.
Transform of choice, the Sludge Bomb going into the Grimmsnarl. Super effective! One-hit KO, no light screen!
Onto the Grimmsnarl, there is no more light screen in this decisive game 3.
But Louis doesn't set up Trick Room. That means Miraidon moves first and its domination continues.
Electric Rift though, going right down into Louis' Calyrex Ice Rider in the electric terrain. Oh my goodness gracious!
One-hit KO!
It's enough for the one-hit KO! One-hit KO's left, right and centre!
Can Landorus finally arrest its momentum?
He's susceptible, there's going to be no Trick Room going up.
The Sludge Bomb not enough! Hangs on, it's not a one-hit KO! It feels fresh saying that one.
But now Urshifu can. Its Aqua Jet move goes before most others. And Ian's final Pokemon is also Urshifu. It outspeeds and KOs Louis' Landorus.
Makes itself so much more vulnerable to a close combat from Louis' Urshifu. That's going to be the close combat into the Landorus. It's going to take it down.
Louis' Urshifu does the same to Ian's Ditto, posing as an Ice Rider.
Well, it's not going to have to because the Surging Strike's going into the Ditto and picking up the knockout here.
1v1, Urshifu versus Urshifu. This endgame could not be closer. We've seen there that Ian's is faster. The biggest move they could go for into each other is close combat, but it lowers the user's defenses afterwards. So they ultimately both decide to go for the not very effective surging strikes into each other to ultimately put each other in range of the knockout from a close combat.
But here is the Surging Strikes not going to be picking up the KO, but Ian not wanting to drop their defenses in this situation.
Had Ian gone for the close combat, maybe it would have been a knockout there, but Louis Urshifu now has the opportunity to respond. Is it going to be securing Louis as our champion? It's not going to be enough damage there. Ian's Urshifu soaking this up. This game is slowly but surely coming to a wrap.
Ian playing this game very, very well, this endgame, because he's been able to soften up Louis' Urshifu. Now, it has been Ian's that have been going fast. The close combat!
To Louis' Urshifu, it's going to be the KO. We have our senior EUIC champion, Ian Larson!
What a close game between these 2 trainers. Ian able to take the crown here in London.
Joining the lofty ranks of so many international champions before them. And wow, Ben, I mean, it's what the crowd wants to see, a 3-game set. I'm sure it's not what our trainers wanted to see on stage. They have to eke out that mental fortitude, that resilience. Ian absolutely beaming here. Louis Fonvier's unbroken record has now been broken, but I still hope that Louis is feeling incredibly proud of himself for 3 back-to-back regional championship titles. I mean, come on, and then reaching the finals at EUIC.
Yeah, you cannot dismiss that whatsoever.
Ian Larson was the only trainer who was able to defeat Louis Fonvier in the Swiss rounds, and they've just been able to do it again when it mattered most. Louis' uninterrupted run of 3 tournament wins comes to an end. A changing of the guard, all the more so as the US has just beaten EU at EUIC.
Everybody in the venue, please give it up for Ian Larson!
I mean, the first game, you take this really strong lead. The second one bounced back. So what are you then thinking heading into this game 3 in such an important match?
I really hope I don't miss my Draco Meteor.
Everyone, another round of applause for your senior champion here in EUIC.
And that's that. Ben and I have just completed our final cast of the Europe International Championships. Now look, I could sit here and tell you that that final cast was flawless and it's what the whole weekend had been building towards because that would be perfect for this point in the video. But that would be a lie. A final cast wasn't flawless, no cast ever can be. But you know what? There's not a huge amount I would change about it. I feel that all the things I could have improved on were minor. Pausing for too long here, repeating a phrase there, not interrupting Ben quite early enough for a hype moment elsewhere. Casting is a marathon, not a sprint. Again, those things are going to happen. And the point is, I didn't let them faze me, nor my developing cold. And I'm thanking myself again for being so strict about doing my Alexander technique nightly. Without it, there's no doubt my voice would have struggled much more. And just as happened after our very first cast of the whole weekend 2 days ago, Ben said to me afterwards he hadn't been feeling as on it as he'd have liked during those finals. And just as I said to him first time, I couldn't tell. That chasm that can appear between how we feel something went and how it actually came across. Again, we're our own harshest critics, and disappointing for Ben to have ended on that note. All I can do is remind him that it went better than he thought. What this means too is that reaching the stars is, of course, subjective. I can't speak for Ben, but I feel that I did. And that's because I felt entirely in the moment throughout those finals. Being in amongst the audience right in that atmosphere certainly helped. It's only watching it back now that I can see the work I did, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm co-hosting the closing ceremony and I'm yet to do that, but for now I hop off the couch area with a spring in my step, as Lou and Lee assume the position to cast the Masters finals. 1,257 total competitors in the Masters division whittled down to just 2. Wolfe Glick and Dil Yeomans. The veteran or the newcomer, the stranger who's come to town or the hometown hero. And just like with Wolfe versus Gennaro Matteo 48 hours ago, Goliath or David. Which of them will win our final match of the Europe International Championships?
Dil, this crowd going absolutely crazy for you. The hometown hero now in the finals. How are you feeling going into this?
Nervous, of course, yeah. Can't say I've ever had something like this happen, like a whole crowd, so like, yeah, just...
That's for you!
Yeah.
Dil, best of luck. Believe it. Wolfe Glick. The list of accomplishments that you have is a mile long. You're back here in the finals of an IC after all these years with this Paratrap team that you're known for. What's going through your mind?
I'm ready.
I have never seen a crowd at a Pokemon event go so crazy for one competitor. Will this give Dil the morale boost they seem to need? I feel sorry for Wolfe, but it's not seeming to faze him. Far more used to the pressure of the big stage. I find that it's often the more relaxed players that tend to go furthest, taking the pressure off themselves as far as they're able. Will Wolfe prove me right? We've seen Wolfe's team a few times in battle, but here it is all laid out. His restricted Pokemon Koraidon is the heaviest hitter, Fluttermane can dish out damage too, and the others, Amoonguss, Screamtail, Incineroar and Gothitelle, are there mainly to shut down opposing teams in less conventional ways like the Encore, Disable and Perish Song that we saw before. Dil's team leans more into offense. Iron Treads, Urshifu Single Strike style, Iron Hands and that familiar restricted Pokemon Miraidon all pack a huge punch, and Incineroar and Farigiraf are there to help create openings for them to sweep through.
Give it up, trainers. We're jumping into the leads. Koraidon, Fluttermane, Alpha Wolfe Glick, and Urshifu Incineroar there for Dil.
Wolfe and Dil take a few turns to position their Pokemon properly. Crucially, Dil is able to break the focus sash on Wolfe's Fluttermane, the held item Wolfe has given it that guarantees it won't be knocked out while at full health. Dil's Incineroar goes down, but at least they switch Farigiraf in and they're able to set up, you guessed it, Trick Room. Dil's slower Pokemon here can move first. Great damage onto Wolfe's powerful Koraidon. Urshifu gets the KO onto Fluttermane, but Koraidon brings Urshifu down to its own focus sash, just 1 HP remaining. Fortunately, Wolfe's brought Amoonguss, a very slow Pokemon which therefore moves early in Trick Room. But unfortunately, it's not threatening much at all onto Dil's Pokemon. Dil very much has the momentum now, let's go Dylan indeed, knocking out Wolfe's Incineroar and bringing him down to his final 2. Trick Room's now over, but Dil achieved what they needed to within it. Look at how low Wolfe's health or HP bars are versus Dil's. Miraidon takes a big hit and hangs on with a sliver, and in this game, even a tiny amount of HP is infinitely more than 0.
Thanks to the low HP, it's gone, and Miraidon clear to go for the Electro Drift once again, and KO its counterpart.
As you see the Electro Drift into the little mushroom, and it will be enough to close this up. Dil taking game 1.
It's no longer let's go Dylan.
Combat, especially under Intimidated, as long as the sun's up with the Life Orb. So something like the combination of that.
David could vanquish Goliath for good in this very next game.
We are getting into game 2, give it up for our trainers.
Farigiraf's Trick Room was so huge for Dil in game 1, this time they lead it and Trick Room goes up immediately. And then Incineroar uses Knockoff to deal decent damage and get rid of Koraidon's held item, the Life Orb. That means it won't be hitting as hard now. And to top it all off,
you wouldn't mind it because you lose that additional recall, but we see the side roar.
The crowd roars for Roar because it's a move we very rarely see. It forces the target off the field. Dil using it on their Incineroar means they can get their Miraidon in ready for the next turn. Only Pokemon on the field at the start of the turn can act. and now Miraidon's threatening massive damage. Well played, Dill. Is one more Dylan becoming a reality? Wolfe's pivoting around trying to stall out the Trick Room turn, but Dill just keeps chipping away, even once Trick Room's expired. But now Dill's caught out of position. Farigiraf's come back in to set up another Trick Room, but it took a hit on turn 1. Koraidon can just knock it out now. So Dill switches in Miraidon to a big attack, and next turn Wolfe secures the KO. Iron Hands takes out the Amoonguss and it's a 2v2 now. Dill's relying on Iron Hands for damage output. Can Wolfe remove it?
So they're able to go for the poison terrestrialization on this Iron Hands. That's going to resist this close combat. It's going to resist any fairy type moves that the Flutter Mane wants to throw its way. So this is a beautiful play. The Shadow Ball, however, is the target going down into this Iron Hands. Only does a minimal amount of damage thanks to the Assault Vest on there. Really paying off, but the special defense is a nice little touch. Flare Blitz in the sun with the Terrifier, though, is going to come down into this Iron Hands. Is that enough? Yes!
Oh, it's a huge knockout from the Flare Blitz.
That's a KO, bringing down the Iron Hands, pulling Wolfe right back into this game. The Farigiraf now all alone on the field. Koraidon even able to hang on despite the recoil that it took. And Farigiraf goes for the Trick Room, but unfortunately it has no friends by its side to get the damage in the next turn.
And just like that,
the helping hand unfortunately isn't there, but there is a round of applause from the crowd for both our trainers as they go into game 3. Wolfe evens the score.
Wolfe howls into action in the face of Dill's roar and takes us to a game 3.
Again, without losing too many Pokemon, too many resources.
One more Dylan, but now also one more Wolfe. The next game determines our Masters Division Pokémon Europe International Champion 2025.
It's game 3 here at the European International Championships. The crowd is going wild. The trainers have got the leads out. Urshifu is back front and center with the Incineroar by its side and the Koraidon and the Flutter Mane on the field for Wolfe.
We're off to a flying start. Dill's brought the Urshifu again. It wasn't there in game 2, even though it proved its worth in game 1. Dill was apparently just going for a different game plan. But Urshifu's immediately brought down to 1 HP with its Focus Sash, still able to get off a big close combat into Koraidon. Urshifu goes down next turn, but so does Koraidon. Wolfe and Dill are not messing around. Then Dill makes a bold switch, Miraidon coming in so they can preserve their Incineroar. Miraidon takes a good chunk. Will it ultimately prove too much? Farigiraf is able to set up that all-important Trick Room though, so that Dill's slower Miraidon can now move earlier. Wolfe reveals Amoonguss as his final Pokemon, and Farigiraf has switched in for Miraidon. To keep Amoonguss safe from super effective Fire-type moves, Wolfe terrestrializes it into its Terra Dark type. But Koraidon's ability turned the Sunlight harsh, so fire moves are going to do big damage anyway. And Farigiraf's boosted Incineroar's Flare Blitz move even further with Helping Hand. And
from whatever devastating damage in this form of the Flare Blitz, the Incineroar wants to deal out. It's still the Dark Terrestrialization, not enough!
But it wasn't enough indeed. Goodbye Amoonguss, but now goodbye Incineroar. Down to a 2v2 and it couldn't be closer. Now I'll unpack it all after, but at this point I'm going to let the rest just play out.
I'm on the edge of my seat here. It all comes down to these last Pokemon remaining on the field and how these speed interactions are going to play. It is a choice specs Miraidon, so we know it has no utility to be able to protect. Farigiraf goes for the Psychic, though this is going to break the Focus Sash on that Flutter Mane, and if the Miraidon is able to move first, it's going to be able to get the knockout. Incineroar can go for the Flare Blitz here into Miraidon. It's not enough to get the KO, though. Wolfe looking devastated due to the special defense drop. Burn coming through, but is it going to be too little too late? Miraidon in play to be able to still get a huge amount of damage off here with the Electro Drift. It is moving before the Flutter Mane.
Here we go, which is it into the Flutter Mane, and it is going to be enough to pick up the Flutter Mane and take Dill one step closer to winning this championship.
That special defense drop coming in clutch for Dill. Honestly, that was such a monumental turn in this grand final. Incineroar now facing down against the Miraidon and the Farigiraf, but it's a 2v1 situation.
Yeah, it's looking really difficult here. The burn does help, so you can protect maybe with Incineroar. Try and get that double protect off, because if you can get through. Let the burn tick down on that Miraidon and get rid of it. That might be a way out, because then the Incineroar beats the Farigiraf. It only has Psychic, and that would be easy enough for Incineroar to do. So let's see if that is what we're going to see play out here. It's going to come right down to it, though. We are going to see just a Psychic come out from... Oh, it is into the Miraidon. It takes it down. So it is going to be knocking it out. The Incineroar, because of the Trick Room still up, could have went for the Flare Blitz into Miraidon, pick it up, knock it out, and now it locks the game. So Incineroar is able to close this out with Farigiraf's only option, able to go for the Psychic in it. It's immune.
I can't believe what I'm just seeing.
Essays have literally been written about that endgame. Brace yourself for a deep dive. You can see that this is the moment Wolfe knows he's won. Dill has just targeted Flutter Mane with Miraidon instead of Incineroar, and got the KO. It might look good for Dill as it's now 2 against 1, But Miraidon is on low health and we're in Trick Room, so Incineroar will KO it first next turn even without the burn, which whittles away health at the end of every turn. And then it's a 1v1 between Incineroar and Farigiraf, and Farigiraf can't touch it. The only damaging move Dill's Farigiraf has is a Psychic type move. According to our Rock Paper Scissors type chart, Psychic moves do no damage into Dark types like Incineroar. So in this 1v1, Incineroar automatically wins the game for Wolfe. But even if Dill had made their Miraidon target Incineroar instead, yes, it likely faints, but the win isn't guaranteed. In this scenario, Fluttermane is still around, and we saw Wolfe target Miraidon with Moonblast, so it goes down, and now we're in a 1v1 between Wolfe's Fluttermane and Dill's Farigiraf, with one turn of Trick Room remaining. So Wolfe probably goes for Protect on Fluttermane to stall that last turn out, because when the speed order is normal again, Fluttermane moves before Farigiraf rather than the other way round. And then literally all bets are off. It partly comes down to the training of the Pokémon, what stats the trainers have chosen to invest in. The only information that players cannot see about each other's teams on the open team sheet, adding a whole new layer of complexity. Farigiraf tends to be a bulky, supportive piece. It should take 2 more Psychics from Farigiraf to knock Wolfe's Fluttermane out. It might have taken 3, but we saw activate the secondary effect that Psychic can have of lowering the target's defenses. Fluttermane, on the other hand, tends to be an offensive piece. So how many Moonblasts, its most powerful move here, should it take to knock out Farigiraf? Around 2. So it's really close, but since Fluttermane moves first outside of Trick Room, Wolfe should still win, right? Well, it should take 2 more Psychics, around 2 Moonblasts. Why am I being so vague? Beyond how offensive Fluttermane is trained to be, and how defensive Farigiraf is trained to be, meet the damage roll. Whereas each move does have a base power, i.e. the amount of damage it does on average, the precise amount of damage varies each turn. That means 2 high damage roll Moonblasts win Wolfe the game as Farigiraf is knocked out, 2 low damage roll Moonblasts lose Wolfe the game because Farigiraf hangs on to deliver the finishing blow, and 1 high and 1 low or anywhere in between, it could go either way. And as ever with Pokemon, there's even more to it than that. Moonblast can have the secondary effect of reducing the target's offense. So if that were to come into play, Farigiraf isn't hitting as hard, and that gives Fluttermane more of a chance to hang on and KO Farigiraf first. And then there's always the chance of those critical hits, moves randomly dealing a lot more damage than they normally would. Much more than just a high damage roll. This is also vague because, again, the training of Wolfe and Dill's Pokemon is known only to them, and there are so many tiny details that come into play every single turn of a Pokemon battle. And it's exactly that nuance that makes me and countless others endlessly fascinated by the game. It's tantalizing to wonder exactly how this alternate endgame would have played out, and I hope it hasn't caused Dill too many sleepless nights. But paradoxically almost, there's also a certain satisfaction in the wonder of never knowing. More complex than you were expecting for a family-friendly franchise full of whimsical creatures, huh? But whichever way you cut it...
Wolfe Glick Pokemon trainers!
Wolfe Glick, whom Lee on day one called
the best of all time,
who has introduced countless people to competitive Pokemon, who is one of the primary inspirations behind me commentating it, and indeed making videos like this, has just reminded the community why he's one of their figureheads. Wolfe Glick is the Masters Division Europe International Champion for 2025, and the winner of the biggest Pokemon tournament yet seen. I hope Dill's feeling exceptionally proud of themselves. They played so well and they were really close games. But the veteran has beaten the newcomer. The stranger who's come to town has overcome the hometown hero. Just like Wolfe versus Gennaro on day one, Goliath has triumphed over David. Wolfe is victorious over Dill. All the while showing the utmost respect for them.
To accomplish
It feels fitting that Wolfe adopts the chant there.
What's going through your mind right now? International champion.
Honestly, I'm just thinking about the scope. There were 1,400 players who signed up for this tournament, who entered this tournament, the biggest official Pokemon tournament of all time. 1,400 players trained their Pokemon, traveled to London, practiced with a friend, worked on their team. 1,400 people showed up to this tournament, hoping and dreaming to win the entire thing. But it wasn't enough!
That speech is now immortalised. It has been and will continue to be quoted and quoted. And yet, right after this, Wolfe provided a competitor for most iconic moments of the tournament.
There was an online tournament called the Global Challenge. Over 10,000 players entered. Players from around the world could earn championship points. Japanese and Korean players could earn invitations to nationals. But what was weird is that at the end of the tournament, the player in first was a player that nobody knew. They actually couldn't even find the person who it was. It was this mysterious player. And so this is actually all 3 major wins in a 3-month period for me as I won the Global Challenge last month.
What? You mean to tell me that the mystery online competition winner was Wolfe all along? You mean to tell me that Wolfe was also victorious in a closed team sheet format? I.e., unlike at EUIC, you know nothing about your opponent's held items, moves, abilities, terror types. All you see is the 6 Pokemon they can choose from on their team before the game. And matches in online competitions are just best of 1. You mean to tell me that in the space of 3 months, Wolfe won a regional championship, an online tournament, and now an international championship, which also happened to be the biggest Pokemon tournament yet at the time? That is just absurd. If Wolfe keeps this up, he could well be our world champion this summer. But for now, as the sparks fly for our champions and finalists, I'm backstage waiting to fulfill my final duty of the weekend, co-hosting the closing ceremony with Sierra. What a privilege to have been on that stage at both the opening and shortly the close, and send off the incredible journey of the past few days. Time to relish the very last moments of the Europe International Championships. Now more than ever, time to be in the moment.
Now to close out EUIC 2025, we have some exciting news and updates to share with you all.
Oh, we certainly do, Sierra. We've watched our competitors battling it out all weekend to rise to the top, but that only tells a fraction of their story.
We're premiering the trailer for Road to Worlds, a fantastic YouTube docu-series showcasing what goes on behind the scenes for trainers and casters alike. And it couldn't be better timing because Wolfe is one of the main cast as well as Lou, who was commentating that finals.
Now then, trainers, as we know, August will see the Pokémon World Championships in Anaheim, California. Who's excited? I thought so. That sounds about right.
And I've been talking about it a lot recently. The entire season builds towards the World Championships. And next we get to showcase the trailer for this year's in Anaheim, California.
It's time to show our appreciation for the wonderful staff, judges, production crew, and countless others who have made possible a superlative European International Championships this weekend. I know you're making noise already, but please give them an even more massive round of applause!
And then, after a couple of final notices...
Thank you all for tuning in. Take care and see you soon, trainers!
Sierra, we've just recorded the equivalent video for your vlog. I've still got the mic, it's not doing anything. I will give it back.
You better hope it's not doing anything. Or it's gonna be
True,
really
yeah.
awkward.
Hello, traders. We did it, the UIC.
UIC in the books. I think we put like a heck of a show on. The stories, everything's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, when we debrief as a group later tonight.
I need to cry for my own vlog, and I'm going to cry for this one. What's going on?
Also, in my vlog, you forgot your energy drink. So, yeah, we've got the whole spectrum of emotions from Sierra, right? Perfect. Well, hope you enjoyed, trainers. We're going to have some much needed unwinding time.
Ben, just like that. You know, you've seen us in this vlog. I was at Ben's house practicing before EUIC, and 1 week and a bit later, here we are at the end. How are you feeling now?
Bit sad. Bit sad. It's crazy. It really snuck up on us.
Yeah.
And it was, and then it came around so quickly, and we started. We got here on Wednesday. We've been here for a while, but it feels like we've been here for like
My bag is just rolling away. There we go.
But it feels like it's gone so quickly now that we're at the end.
Yeah. Although also it feels like we've been there for ages.
Yeah.
Because the days are so full, I think. But I'm really proud and pleased with the work that we put in this weekend. I think our practice really helped. And you know, we just build from here. It's a craft. You're never going to be perfect, so just keep learning. Yeah. You're pleased with your work?
Pleased.
Good.
Lots of things to learn. Come away, come back next time stronger.
Exactly.
Keep on moving.
Been a pleasure.
I'm just nearly falling over.
And now Ben and I have parted ways, and I'm heading back on the train. I need to let the dust settle, I think, in the past few days. I mean, it's hard to know what to say at this point so close to the event. It's just the morning after.
This entire video is testament to the fact that casting is indeed a craft. There's always more to learn. The same goes for Pokemon. In one sense, I, and I'm sure you, can't believe I just said that. But by now I hope you have an appreciation of just how intellectually stimulating this unique competitive game is. It's so exciting to be a part of. At the start of this video, I asked if I'd do justice to commentating the biggest Pokemon tournament yet seen.
I'm really proud of the work I've put in this weekend. My first international championships as a commentator rather than a host, though it was a pleasure to be able to do some hosting bits as well, because I thoroughly enjoy that. I'm not just saying I think I did a good job for my first international championships commentating. I think it was a solid job.
My answer? Yes. Overall, over those 3 days, I am proud of my performance. And of course, so is 10-year-old me that remains beside himself that I get to do this incredible job.
I'm very excited for what the future holds. And I feel very, very lucky to be in this position. It's taken a lot of hard work and, you know, following the things that I've enjoyed over the years and then them all sort of meeting in the middle with Pokemon commentating. So, I mean, you know, I encourage everyone to, it's going to sound cheesy, but go with your heart, just go with the things that you enjoy. And who knows where you might end up.
Of course, no matter how much prep you do for anything like this, there's no substitute for actually being in the venue commentating live. So just by virtue of having casted EUIC, recording this a few months after the event, I know I've come a long way since then. Also because I've casted a couple more tournaments since. And of course, because I've watched back my EUIC casts in meticulous detail to write the very video you're watching right now.
I'm looking forward to working on other videos too. Like this very one. Filming this vlog entry, we'll get other footage together. And I'm looking forward to crafting something that I haven't really seen anyone else do before.
And what's next for me? Well, it'll be the event we showcased at the end of EUIC. None other than the 2025 Pokémon World Championships in Anaheim, California, which I am honoured to have been chosen to cast. And I am delighted to say, with Ben. Just as with EUIC, months of prep have gone in, and again, I know I'll learn a vast amount on the job. To say I can't wait is an understatement. Look forward to the video I'll make of that experience, and the sky's the limit from there. As ever, my growth as a caster and presenter continues.
I can't emphasise enough how many people go into putting on a production like EUIC this past weekend. It's such a well-oiled machine. And the atmosphere couldn't be happier, more exciting. I feel very lucky to be able to work with them all. And we all just inspire each other. It's such an inspiring bunch of people to be around. No matter what anyone's job is backstage, no matter how far away it is from what I do, just the work ethic and everyone united in the end of putting on the best show that we possibly can. And of course, that goes for the other casters as well. All of whom I find incredibly inspiring.
Isn't it mind-blowing that Pokemon has reached this point? But then again, if someone told us it would when we were on the school playground at the height of Pokemania, maybe we wouldn't have been that surprised. Yes, as I said at the start, nostalgia is a powerful thing, but also what Pokemon provides is timeless.
Pokemon brings people together, and we need more of that in the world right now. And we must always remember how lucky we are to be part of this incredible community.
At the time of writing, there are all sorts of exciting developments for competitive Pokemon underway. Notably Pokémon Champions, a competitive focus game that will be available not only on Nintendo Switch consoles but also on mobile, immediately making the game so much more accessible. Pokemon's growing and growing, so if you're tempted to dip back in, there's never been a better time. I can't wait to see you on the battlefield. I'll be there, continuing to utilise what I've learned from drama school and beyond to put on the best show possible.
And with that being said, you can probably tell how tired I look and sound. So I'll leave it there. Have a very merry rest of your day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
A massive thank you for watching this video. It means a huge amount. 6 months went into just getting the script ready because it's the first time I've written anything like this, and actually I'd never seen anything like it before. And I'll be editing it all myself too. Since you made it this far, once more, please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It would mean a huge amount, and directly supports me as a creator so I can continue to make videos like this. Again, I'd love to read your thoughts and things you've learned from the video, so please do comment with that, and you won't want to miss the video I make about my experience commentating the 2025 Pokémon World Championships. I interviewed Wolfe Glick for the 50th episode of my podcast Chazingdra Chats, where I talked to guests about their life story and the 6 Pokémon they choose for their dream team. I've also interviewed Ben, Lou, Lee, Sierra, and beyond. I'll link the show in the description below. And also on my channel, I live stream competitive and casual Pokémon play, make Pokémon comedy skits, and loads more. If you'd like to support me directly, you can become a channel member, which gets you 4 bonus videos per month from my podcast and many more perks. Click join below to learn more. I've got my Patreon link below too, and again, my one-man show Wonder Drug, a comedy about cystic fibrosis, is also linked below, along with the complete videos of EUIC 2025, in case you want to watch the games and the tournament in full, at Chazingdra across all socials. If you're wondering why, it's Chaz for Charlie, plus Ingdra for Kingdra, my favourite Pokemon, which is behind me just there. Chazingdra. Thank you so much again, time for me now to end this hours and hours and hours long recording, and have a very merry day.